I like to say that I'm deceptively shallow. So,
Okay.
so everything looks deep. It ain't that deep, man. You know what I mean? So there's probably not a lot of people who know me don't know about me, but just people who don't know me just assume that when I'm out in public or I have resting bitch face, so that doesn't help. But
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Empire, where we like to engage with everyone from pastors to actors, from rappers to trappers, and everybody in between. And guess what? We have another amazing guest for today. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. My name is Antonio D. Miles. I am your host for today. If you guys want to support, you guys can do our Cash App, our Venmo. Everything will be in the description, which is $THE Empire Podcast. And we're here to have a good time. We like to have interesting interviews with interesting people. And we have another interesting person today. And so let's get right into it. And I'm just going to go right into it. Right into it. Right into it. How many times did I say right into it? 3 or 4. Y'all count. Anyway, so the gentleman's name is local rapper from the IE, San Bernardino area, Cam Archer. Welcome to the Empire, Cam.
thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Bro, so glad to have you. How you been, man?
I'm solid, man. I'm solid. I can't complain.
Like a rock?
Solid as a rock, man.
That's what it made me. Solid as a rock.
Yep.
Da, 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 Is that Shaka Khan?
No, it's like it was like a duo. I forget the name. My mom's gonna kill me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, my mom loves that song.
Uh-oh.
But yeah,
Mama.
she gonna get me for that one. But yeah, no, it's a duo that did that record.
Got you. At least you know it was a duo.
Yeah.
At least you know. Man, how's your day been, bro? Good?
Yeah, solid, man. Solid. I can't complain. Been watching some movies. I'll be doing that again after this. Just enjoying my day.
Got you. What movie were you watching?
I was rewatching Leave the World Behind, which just came out on Netflix. Mahershala Ali, Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke. Little small part from Kevin Bacon. Little on the nose for the times right now.
Okay, what's it about? What's it about?
Essentially, without spoiling too much of the plot, it's one of those types of things.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke are married. They have a couple kids. They decide to randomly rent an Airbnb, a house out in the outskirts of New York. They live in New York.
Okay.
So they're renting a house for a weekend. And all of a sudden, stuff just starts going wrong in the world around them. And the original owner of the home returns because stuff is going on. Very weird. And that owner is Mahershala Ali and his daughter. And they're, as a unit, trying to figure out collectively what the heck is going on in the outside world around them. The internet's down. Everything's down. They can't contact people. Like, they're trying to figure it out.
Is that the one that's produced by the Obamas?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Saw that. It's worth watching twice, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was getting into the deep dive bag on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to release any gems? Any hidden gems to us?
Not until you watch it.
Okay.
I want to make sure.
Got you.
Yeah, I want to make sure everybody. I don't like to spoil a movie unless I'm told they want me to spoil it.
Got you.
Because I don't like spoilers. I'm not a spoiler
Got
guy.
you. So you prefer spoiler alert?
Yeah,
Boom.
exactly.
Should we say that right now before we give someone a spoiler?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
hit 'em up.
Look, so this
Spoiler
is a spoiler alert for the movie. So a lot of people aren't happy with the ending. So this is a major spoiler.
He went right to the end.
Yeah, well, because it's based on a book, and the whole premise of this is like, is it a cyber attack? Is it another country? Is it just us? What is it? But it's essentially, it's almost like this type of cyber attack where they will shut down the economic stability of a country and just essentially allow the people within that country themselves, if they are, self-destructive enough, to attack themselves and destroy themselves.
Interesting.
And that's kind of where you can see that things are headed. And they kind of just tied it in with people's obsession with entertainment, because there's a young daughter in the movie who's obsessed with the show Friends. She's 13.
Okay.
So she wants to see the end of the show Friends, and the internet's out. And she's like, I want to know what happens with Ross.
Ross and Rachel
yeah,
type of
with
thing?
Ross and Rachel. I didn't get to see the last episode. I need to see what happens.
Okay.
And it all ties in with that. And some people don't like the ending. They feel like it's a bit abrupt. I thought it was good. I liked the ending a lot.
Okay.
So just watching it again, it's a good movie, man.
Got you. And I guess, how would you say it's kind of like a sign of the times? How would you relate that?
Oh, it's definitely a sign of the times, especially with all this news coming out about cyber attacks throughout the year, which, China attacking us, cyber wise, just more than likely so that they can start prepping for how they're going to attack Taiwan, that type of stuff,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I realize like scammers is like, they're making like a big boom right now. Like scamming is like the way to go.
Oh yeah, on every platform, every different ways of text messaging people from their own phone number to get them to open up a link. Because why is my own number text? They don't know any better. Just stuff like that. You got to change your Netflix password. We all get that at least. I feel like once a week.
True.
Like saying your Netflix password's been compromised, but it's not really from Netflix. But as soon as you click on the link, they now have access to your entire phone. They can manipulate it and do whatever they want to. And most times they do that because a lot of times people have set it up so that any passcodes or any reset codes go to your phone.
Wow.
So now I'm going to go onto this website for your banking information. Oh, I'm going to you get a text message code to tell you need to change your password. Okay, let me get that text message code. I changed your password. I got access to all your stuff.
Damn.
So, yeah.
I just saw something recently. I think it was thanks to the Inland Wire, and I guess they're doing like a scam with gift cards. Have you seen this thing?
I have not seen this one.
So basically what happens, because in order to, you buy it, you scan the barcode, and you buy it, you pay for it, and you open up, and there's like a strip that you scan to actually get the money. So I guess what the scammers are doing, they're buying the thing, and then they're cutting the strip, and then they're using that money, and then they're resealing the packaging without that strip that gives you the money, and then putting it back and returning it.
Oh,
so that way when you buy it, you get it without the strip that has actual money on it.
Oh, wow! They're getting even more clever, man.
Bro, it's so amazing.
The scams are scamming, man. I mean, shout out to y'all. I mean,
Facts.
but my conscience wouldn't allow it. But I mean, shout out to y'all, man.
That part. Hey, if any of y'all want to come on the Empire, come on. We want to talk some more.
Yeah.
Like I even one more thing before we get really more into it. I saw this thing where this girl was, I guess she was looking for like the perfect mate, and so she wanted all these guys to send in their DNA to find the perfect mate, right? Mm-hmm. I know, right?
Yeah.
So the way people ended up connecting it was that I guess what is it, like 23andMe? They give you like some money if you recommend certain DNAs to be a part of it. So she was using that hustle of like getting people's DNA and then getting discounts from like 23andMe by going that way.
Wow.
Something along those lines.
Shout out to my promo code.
That part, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's wild. They're smart people out there. I can't deny it. Absolutely. I can't deny it, man. Cam, you're looking fresh. I see the gold on top. I see. I can't even think of the guy from Nintendo. Tell me his name, please.
Shy Guy.
Shy Guy.
Yeah.
It's always a fun character to play too on Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. Cam Archer, can you tell people who may not know who you are and what you do?
My name is Cam Archer. Like you said, I'm from San Bernardino, California. I rap. I do all right. And I put on shows still, allegedly. I think I'm going to start doing that again. But I used to put on a lot of shows, host shows, things of that nature. But my bread and butter is music. Oh, I'm starting to do voice work too. But music, podcasting, music, anything entertaining I try to dabble in. Except acting, I couldn't do that.
Got you. Why not acting?
I don't even like shooting music videos. If I could, I wouldn't be in any of my own music videos. And
we have the technology where you don't need to be anymore, really.
True. My videographer doesn't agree. His name is also Antonio.
I saw that.
He does not agree. So
but the Ruthless.
He did read pretty much all my videos that have been of quality. I don't think that's a shot at anyone. I don't think, because everything else was just me with a phone.
Okay.
Was thanks to Antonio. So shout out to him since like 2016.
Gotcha. And you said he disagrees?
Yeah, he's very good with darker skin tones and things of that nature, filming and things like that. He's very good at it. So shout out to you, Antonio, for all the work you do in helping me look good in front of a camera, which is a daunting task. I'm sure it takes you days and nights to make that work. But yeah, if he'll come up with concepts, I'll come up with concepts, and then either he's got to like put me in a chokehold to make me shoot the video.
To be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Got you. It's like a nightmare.
Yeah, I hate it.
I got you. So you say you also are doing voice acting?
Yeah, I'm trying to dabble into the voice world. I've done some ad work, some commercial work. I did when Vince Carter retired from the NBA, I did an NBA Canada commercial, to celebrate his retirement. And what's annoying is I never saw it on TV. Every time it was during the bubble playoffs. So every time I wasn't home and I wasn't watching a game, the commercial would show. But the only reason I knew that everybody else saw the commercial was because they either watched it or because when it was airing at one point in Canada, Drake did a story on his Instagram, like showing the commercial. So that was kind of weird to hear my voice in a Drake story. But yeah, that's how I knew for sure, like, oh, it's on TV.
It's
So,
there.
Yeah.
It's there. Hey, at least you got paid for it, right?
Absolutely.
That's
I would have done it if I didn't get paid. It was Nike. It's for Nike. It's for Vince Carter. He's a legend. I don't care. I'm a craft person at heart as well. So
Gotcha.
of course I would like to be compensated, but when it comes to certain things like that, that was the last thing on my mind. It was more like I get to be a part of history.
Gotcha.
Ultimately.
Two things. What do you mean when you say you're a craft person at heart?
I think about the fact that the money, no one's going to remember the money you made for something if it's whack.
I like that.
They're just going to say that was whack. You know what I mean? And it's not going to, I'm all about the legacy of the thing, which is a part of the craft. You know what I mean? So if I can't really get down with what's being made, it's not going to be good anyway. So why bother making it?
I love that. I love that. You know, when you say Vince Carter is like, you know, he's a legend. Do you remember when he first put his elbow into the rim?
Heck yeah.
And how?
Yeah, man. That dunk contest is legendary. I remember watching it live. Like that's the type of feeling. Like, you know, my sister was married to a guy who was like, he was all about Vince Carter. He had like every Vince Carter jersey possible. He was obsessed with Vince, and he had the, you know, the shocks, the with the joints with the springs on the back. You know what I mean? Like, he was all about Vince. So I was a T-Mac guy. So I was always like, okay, cool, they're cousins anyway. So it was like, you know what I mean? So it all worked out anyway. But yeah, Vince was one of them ones as a kid.
Man, yeah. And then I remember. Yeah, okay, I was gonna keep on going into video games. I was thinking about NBA Streets and all that stuff. Super great. You know, Cam, can you give us all like a brief story of where you grew up, how you grew up, all the way up to where we are today?
Sure.
Before you do that, I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead.
There was one thing that I wanted to, and I know I'm gonna forget. You said you used to do shows a lot, and you haven't. And
yeah, I used to book a lot of shows. Yeah.
So, why'd you stop? And can you tell us a little bit why'd you stop and stuff like that, or slow down?
Yeah, sure. No, I was a part of, obviously I hosted, well, if I say obviously, like people know, Noah James had the Common Ground.
Okay.
I was one of the hosts of that for a long time.
Okay.
And it got to the point where I was like, I want to start throwing my own shows. And I kind of just followed that blueprint. So shout out to Noah for that. And I started throwing shows where I could find venues locally. So whether it was, you know, back when Garage Inc. Pizza was open, that used to be the Maxwell Street Pizza over, you know, in the city used to be open. I would throw shows there if I could. And then I developed a connection with the National Orange Show Event Center.
Oh, wow, the Nas. Okay.
The Nas Center, they have like the sports area. I developed a relationship there. I was throwing shows in the front area, like the night on Thursday nights, Friday nights during like the horse racing stuff. They had like a little small front stage, and I would throw shows there. And then my rapport built there until I got the back room, which has the main stage, all the seating. And I got to start throwing shows back there, and I started throwing a festival back there, and I developed a relationship with a record store that was in Redlands called it was called Cats Alley Records. I developed a relationship with them, started throwing shows back there. They got a bigger space in Riverside that had like a whole outdoor area stage. I started throwing stuff there.
Okay.
And once that closed, it's just more so the lack of venues. Like once that closed, stuff started closing down, and it just became, and then the pandemic happened on top of that.
Exactly.
And it's the lack of venues, the lack of opportunities to do stuff. So it's more so like, I don't want to oversaturate certain areas with the same thing. So I'm very appreciative to what like Firewater does for the scene right now, but we need to find another space, like especially down here in San Bernardino. Okay. That was always a big thing for me. Like, how close can I keep it to San Bernardino to allow people to perform from out here too, not just have to keep going Riverside, Pomona, you know what I mean? Like, right, like what can I do? So I'm trying to figure that out, whether that's collaborating with the Orange Show again, just something to figure out so I can, you know, bring back the shows, especially my festival alive and kicking, whatever I can do to just keep putting on opportunities so that people have the spaces that I was provided to grow my craft. I need to do that to help them out.
I love that. I think it's a good thing that we're talking about it, because I think the Nas would be a good place to tap back into it, because you know it's popping again right now with all the EDM stuff.
Yeah. Right? It was always good to do that. I mean, at one point, during the fair, I was responsible for booking all the performing artists for the 3 days of the fair. So from open to close, I booked performers for the entire fair, and that was a really dope experience and something that was it's a really dope feather in the cap because I grew up going to that festival. You know what I mean? So to be able to say that I was able to bring out a bunch of acts that we all know and love to come out and say I'm performing at the National Orange Show, like the actual fest, like you go get on the Ferris wheel and come watch me perform was pretty dope.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, going back, can you give us a brief story of how you grew up, where you grew up, all the way up to Mr. Cam today?
Yeah, I was most of my early childhood was spent on 13th Street. Like, so I grew up on 13th, right across from Lincoln Elementary. I grew up right over there with moms and my sister. Obviously, that wasn't the greatest neighborhood to be in, so I wasn't really allowed outside. So that's what really cultivated my imagination, was being just a latchkey kid inside the house all the time. Because I had a bike that I rarely got to ride because I wasn't allowed to go out in the neighborhood like that. So I was inside. I got my Sega, I got books, I got TV. That's really it. So I'm able to, and every now and then I might go to my godbrother's house and they wildin'. So they're older. They're they're in the life. So it's, I got to see that's the duality of what I grew up on. And, just I've been from, San Bernardino, Highland, partied at University of Redlands, had friends out there. So I just have like a viewpoint of everything. And that's kind of helped me kind of, cultivate that. And then there's also just being, very reserved. I didn't rap like officially until after I graduated high school. I was too nervous and too shy and, worried about the rejection of it to actually put out anything or even show people that I rapped until after I left high school. So, yeah, that's.
But you rapped before high school?
Absolutely.
In private?
Oh, I've been writing songs since I was like 6. I used to write to the songs in Sonic.
In Sonic form?
And no, in Sonic the game.
Oh, Sonic the game.
Yeah, I would just listen to the music in Sonic and I would write songs to it. And then it was writing to Daft Punk's Discovery album. And then it was, I'm going to write like Linkin Park after Hybrid Theory came out. I'm going to write like that. And then, just things, all of that, just different things of that nature.
Did you hear that Michael Jackson did the music for Sonic?
Yeah, he did Sonic 3. He didn't keep his name on it because of some stuff down the line, but basically like all the concepts he had, or you can hear it within Sonic 3. Yeah.
So dope. I remember when that Hybrid album came out for Linkin Park. I remember I came across it on accident. It was like late at night and it came out and I was like, wow, who are these guys? It's amazing.
Yeah, when they first came out, I did not like them. That was the funny part. I heard One Step Closer and I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not vibing with this.
Okay.
And then Crawling came out and I was like, oh, because I mean, alternative music, rock music has always played a big role on me. I've always joked that if my uncle got me because he gave me a guitar when I was like 9, but it was acoustic and I'm an idiot. And I was like, I want an electric guitar, not knowing that they correlate. Yeah. I probably would have been in a band long before I was ever a rapper. But like Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, that was all within the DNA of what I was doing and how I wrote. But when I finally heard the full album of Hybrid Theory, I was like, wow, I was stuck. I was transfixed. And it was a wrap from there. Everything after that was like some alternative rock rap type stuff, man.
Limp Bizkit. I think Limp Bizkit was before them though, right?
Limp Bizkit was right around the same time. They technically dropped before them, yeah, but it was definitely not to the same lyrical caliber.
You're hilarious.
You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
Like Fred Durst was doing his thing, but it wasn't like Mike. Like Mike is a rapper. You know what I mean? Like
big facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you graduated high school and decided to premiere your rap stuff. So it can
kinda. I mean, not even that really. It was more like I had friends who I was definitely like a clown in high school. So I didn't really have but as time goes on, when you just have a cool personality, you make friends with everybody. So I was that kid. Okay. I was an unknown known. Okay. So it was you hanging out. I have friends in the football group, the basketball group, the baseball group. So all the jocks. I got friends in the emo crowd. I got friends in the punk rock crowd. I got friends in the Latino crowd. I got friends in the black crowd.
Okay.
I'm in every pocket and facet. So I'm safe. I'm good. But I'm not like known. I'm not a known quantity. But as I'm hanging out with these groups of people, they all have stuff that they're good at, and I'm just kind of in the background chilling. So after high school, I end up making a friend through a friend. His name was Eddie. Okay. I started calling him GQ. A lot of people may know him as that now. He was here doing some of the media at the award show as well. So HVE Media, shout out to GQ. He was basically like, oh, I'll make beats. At the time, he hadn't made no beats. He didn't tell me that. He was like, I'll make beats. He's like, my boy Sean raps. I heard you can rap. And I was like, yeah, So they started making me freestyle everywhere we went.
Okay.
So we would be going to try to meet up with some girls in Anaheim or something. And we're like, yo, so you got to rap about this. You got to mention these girls, all this stuff. And they would like kind of turn the music kind of down low, and I had to rap to that.
Okay.
And
they put you on blast, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just, and I mean, that helped me because I'm really good at freestyling now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was just like a nuisance to me. But then I met his friend. Sean, who went by Comic as a rapper, and we started to rap together. And I released the first thing I ever wrote. Well, I didn't write it, actually. I did a freestyle over Cash Flow by Ace Hood, and I put it on MySpace. And I was like, I mean, let's see what people think. And it got like 100 plays in like 12 hours. And I thought, I'm good. I'm on. I'm good. Like, you know, after that, it was, I'm getting signed tomorrow. That became the whole like thing. And I just got addicted to rapping from there because it gave me that validation that, okay, I'm good at this. So it was always I always had those hurdles and fears of wanting to being on stage. I was petrified. And then I got on stage and I was fine. And I wanted to do it. I was petrified about rapping in general, people hearing it. People said I was good. Okay, I'm good. I performed once in front of a live audience and people didn't boo me. Okay, I'm good. I'm not worried about it anymore.
Guys, like the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's the more so just the irrational confidence. You know what I mean? Like as long as I know I'm good, but what if they don't think I'm good? And now that I got in front of a crowd and nobody said I sucked, okay, now I know I am good. I've solidified what I already thought. I've validated my own thought. So now no matter where I go, even if you boo me, I know I'm not actually whack. I've been booed off stage before. At an Apollo night, but it didn't make me go like, oh man, that's it. It's a wrap.
Okay.
It was just more like, you motherfuckers gonna boo me? Like me? That was the mindset. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? So that is that kind of thing. So I was fortunate enough to have that and go from rapping with Sean to rapping with my bro Dre Shot. Shout out to Dre Shot out in LA. When I had nowhere to record, he took me in, recorded my first mixtape. And it just kind of built from there. I found the Common Ground community. You know, Noah and Curtis King at the time introduced me into that, and it's been going ever since. Back when I was still called Catalyst, that was my first rap name.
That was your first MC name, Catalyst?
Yeah.
Okay. What made you want to change it to Cam Archer?
For one, there was like this battle rapper named Catalyst. I didn't know about that. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to be like a biter. But then like my bro Dre Shot kept saying like, you know, you should do something more personal. It's more personal. It's just your name's more personal. I was like, I like Catalyst. I like what it means. Like that. And after a while, I was like, you know what? It was like less than a year after I put out my first project, I changed it.
Okay.
To Cam Archer. I think I had 2 projects out at the time, and I changed it to Cam Archer, and it just went from there.
Gotcha. Is Archer your real last name?
That's the mystery of life, my friend.
Gotcha. Because every time I see Archer, I think of the TV show.
That's where everybody thinks it came from.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks I got it from Sterling Melody Archer.
Yeah.
But no, that's not where I got it from.
Speaking of voice acting, great voice actor choice.
Yeah.
For the show. But yeah, I know you. I didn't assume that you got it from him, but my mind just always like correlates like when I think
I'm
of the
just
name
glad
Archer.
the show is good. If the show sucked, I'd be mad. But yeah, like everybody's like, did you do that because of the show Archer? I'm like, no. Great show though.
No relation.
No relation to Sterling Mallory.
No relation.
None whatsoever.
Female voice by Aisha Tyler. So, Cam, you know, actually the first thing I wanted to mention was that, you know, you have Shy Guy hanging right here.
Yeah.
And I wonder, is it kind of related to maybe your personality growing up, being a latchkey kid and then stuff like that? Is that like little alter ego right there? Okay.
I've always had a fascination with people wearing masks and still being able to convey emotion. But that's also, I'm a huge wrestling fan too. And when I wasn't watching like WWE, WWF, WCW, I was that weirdo who would go through the channels and I would find like AAA wrestling and watch the luchadors.
Okay.
You know, and watch them wrestle. And a lot of the luchador culture is masks. So I was always big on that. So even like, as I started doing my first like album when I was actually good, which was Cocomania, like the whole process and theme of that album is being so shrouded and guarded away from yourself that even you don't know what's going on with your emotion, and even inside you don't know what's going on with your emotion because it's always wearing a mask. You're hiding it from yourself.
Gotcha.
And that just kind of falls into everything that I love anyway with wrestling and whatnot. So, but yeah, I've always in characters with masks on who are dope. That's always going to be a callback for me.
Gotcha. Would you ever consider going under another alias with like a mask, Daft Punk style, or?
Not with a mask. No, I feel like in the hip hop world, Doom did that, so we just kind of let that go with Doom.
Okay, just only Doom.
Let Doom have that lane. He did that. I feel like no one else could separate themselves doing it to that degree. I feel like there's nothing wrong with alter egos. I mean, who has, what's he has like 8 of them. Cool Keith got like 8 alter egos,
Hilarious.
bro. But like, I'm not gonna get a perm like that. But
Hilarious.
but like, you know what I mean? Like, you can have alter egos. I don't know if I would ever put them in a mask. I had a mask made for the Cocomania album, like a luchador mask, just kind of following that trend.
Cool.
But like, I don't know if I would ever just go full board like this is this other person who wears a mask who does X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I would.
Okay. If someone approached you, maybe?
It would have to be an amazing pitch.
Okay.
It would have to be an amazing pitch
Got you.
for where I'm taking it artistically, because especially if I'm doing it within a project, I'm very serious about how I craft a project in an album. So it would have to make a whole lot of sense for me to go, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Got you. I respect it. Cam, what does hip hop mean to you?
Hip hop, what does hip hop mean to me? Hip hop is ultimately how I found my voice as a person. Like, I like to say that it's music in general, but hip hop was the gateway to all that anyway. You know what I mean? So I look at hip hop as just much like all music, really. I don't want to make it like a class thing of what music does, but it's the easiest way to find a voice because you don't really need an instrument to do it.
True.
You know what I mean? You could bang on a table and find that. You don't need to learn how to, you don't have to buy a $200, $300 piece of equipment to find it. You can make a beat out of anything and rap. You can write poems, and that is a flow into hip hop and rap. So
true. It's
the easiest way to do it for sure, to me, in my opinion.
For artistic expression and finding your voice.
Absolutely.
Got you. You know, I agree, and I think hip hop overall kind of saved music in general, but I definitely think hip hop saved a lot of people's lives.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? I want to congratulate you on winning Verse of the Year at the Open Empire Now Awards. What was your thoughts? What was your experience for that whole thing?
I thought the awards were dope. I thought I won the award. I thought I was going to win, and everybody else, won where they should have won. And I thought it was a great experience. I feel like it's going to continue to grow from now and become something bigger next year, which I'm excited to see. And it also gave a lot of motivation to keep creating and do different things. So I like that as well.
Super dope. And you also performed that night, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that you have a background in, loving live music and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts on performing with a live band versus just a backing track?
I have a band that I usually perform with when I'm doing like a bigger show, the Midnight Society. Oh Gosh Leotis, who presented an award, is not only my main producer, but also my drummer in that band. Shout out to D Major, he's my keyboard player, and shout out to Dare House, who's my bass player and also a constant collaborator, one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life. So I love performing with a band. Mm-hmm. I feel like it just adds that added experience and that added element. However, if you can't perform in general, don't perform with a band because you're just trying to mask it. You're adding a lot of A1 sauce to the steak, man. That your steak's overcooked.
Got you.
Or it's undercooked.
Got you.
And you're trying to rely on a band to punch up what you're doing because it's going to do that naturally. The energy of a band of live instrumentation is always going to do that. Mm-hmm. But if you know how to perform on top of that, it's going to go super crazy.
Got you to another level.
Absolutely.
Have you ever recorded an album with a full band?
We've discussed it.
Okay.
It's just the timing of getting everybody's very busy. I'm very fortunate to say that everybody in my band is more talented than me. So they all have bigger fish to fry. So I'm sure the time will come when we all get together and we record that album.
Got you. But that would definitely be an idea you would love to address.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. We want to do like one from scratch though. We want to like write everything,
of course,
and do it all. Like not just do like a live album where it's just recording of the performances. We want to do like a full on album.
Yeah. Of original stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Speaking of albums, you just recently came out with an album, right?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Well, this year.
Technically, by definition, I don't even want to say I did. I'm not gonna say I did, but I did put out some music a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah. No, you're good. Continue.
Okay.
Continue. No, you're good. Ask away.
Let's talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of related to, I want to talk about the title, right? Cameras Outside, right?
Oh, I did put out Cameras Outside this year. See how my memory is trash.
Wow.
I was like, what is it? I was like, no, I didn't come. Yeah, I put out Cameras Outside. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I rap too much, man. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cameras Outside, right?
Yeah.
So, now that I kind of have a little bit more background, about how you used to do shows a lot and then you kind of stopped from that. Is the name of the album kind of related to you coming back outside and doing things again, and you were like hiding before, you were inside before?
No,
Talk to us.
no. The title is petty, it's spiteful, but it fits the sonics as well because I'm a whole, circular person with these things. So I'm hesitant to call it an album just because of the way I view albums and the length of an album and all that good stuff. I know that track listing wise, we want to call it albums. People call it an EP. I don't care. It's just a body of work that I put out.
Okay.
Like, I look at all of my albums like just artwork, art pieces.
Yeah.
Art installations. So I put that project out because at the time that I was kind of sitting on some of these records, because some of these records I was sitting on, I was basically told I was asked why I wasn't included on a certain list by a publication about like the top artists from the city. I wasn't even or grading them, if you will, and I wasn't even on the list of the artists being graded.
Gotcha. You want to talk about the name of the publication?
People tagged me. They're not important.
Gotcha.
People tagged me in it saying, why isn't Cam Archer on this list? And I responded, I don't go outside. Mm-hmm. I'm not outside. I don't go, out into the world. I don't usually make the quote unquote type of music that this publication prefers to look at as a form of what's important to the sound. I'm not really that. I kind of stick to my own lane of music. I'm not really just underground. I don't just make boom bap rap, but I don't really make, what the industry kind of looks for out of a West Coast artist right now in theory.
Okay.
I don't quote unquote make that, but I can. It's not like it's a difficult thing for me to do.
Got you.
So I was like, I got these songs I've been sitting on that kind of fit this. Let me add a few more to them, put it all together, and add a story element to it as to why I don't go outside, quote unquote, why I'm not outside, why I'm not into the extracurricular activities that I could be into or be around the people that I could be around, because it could lead me into doing this, just knowing my personality and the way I act when I get around these people.
Yeah.
And that became Cam is Outside.
Oh, I love it.
And shout out to Miss Bliss for doing the narration on the project.
I was going to mention, I like having the, like the skit narration and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And I always find publications interesting because as artists, we know that our work is good. And then sometimes people have their own biases and they control that publication.
They spin the narrative, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're like, well, you don't fit our narrative, or I don't understand what you're trying to say. And it's just interesting. I've been denied publications for poetry and stuff like that. And I'm like, my shit's good.
Yeah.
And
that's what matters. As long as you continue to think that, you just got to keep driving that point home,
Yeah.
And it also is the size of that publication. It's a publication that isn't even from the Inland Empire. They're from LA.
Wow.
So, and they just decided to put together in a couple of weeks a list of who is important in the IE and grade them without really even touching down or even coming to events out here or even really knowing people out here. So it just became like a thing why do you guys care? Ultimately.
Facts. But
there was a lot of light put on it because of that publication having some traction for being very clickbaity and doing this in LA. So, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. But I wasn't going to let that deter me from making music, but at the same time, I'm petty. So I was like, not only am I going to put out this project that's, quality and on par with everything that you usually quote unquote look for, because that's not a problem for me. I'm going to then call it Cam is Outside, which was, the whole emphasis of people. And a lot of people were like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I wasn't on that list, I'm not outside.
I love it. Shots fired.
Yeah.
I love it. On the body of work, what's your favorite track that you put out on it? And what do you think some of the best feedback on tracks people have talked about so far?
My favorite song on that project is probably, Streets of Rage probably. It's probably my personal favorite song on there.
Okay.
The song that everybody seems to like the most is probably Ruthless. So that's why I kind of did the video
for it.
Yeah, but that's probably the song that people seem to like the most. But yeah, Streets of Rage was fun. With Me is fun. It's just a fun project, man. It's fun for the time frame, for the summer. Just some music we're all human. I don't really like the whole classification of we can't have this music or this music's ruining this music or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All the music is important and is helpful and it fits a mood and a vibe that you're in. So,
facts.
I love Royce the 5'9". I don't want to hear him at a party. Don't put Royce on at the party. I don't need to hear Bar Exam 4 at the party when I'm looking at old girl over here and I'm trying to see what's up. Don't put on Royce.
Okay, no
I
Royce.
love you, Royce.
Okay.
Royce is one of my Nabian calls me Elzai the 5'9" for a reason. But I don't want to hear Royce at the party, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So just there's needs for all the levels of music we have, and that's kind of why I also wanted to do that, because I didn't have a project like that in the catalog. So just showing the range.
Got you. Who do you want to hear when you're at the club or like a party? What do you want to hear?
Man, not me, but I mean, like, well, this project, yeah, but normally not me. You could put on, like, you know,
a Drake or something.
I mean, yeah, of course, Drake's always gonna keep one.
Yeah.
You know, especially out here throwing some YG. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to sprinkle some of the newer Wiz in there. Wiz has been kind of messing around with the sound from out here too. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of artists right now that you could throw on that you can't throw on in every scenario.
That makes sense. It has to fit the environment. You gotta know. You gotta know the environment.
Yeah.
You know, I the cover art is like you sitting with the white background, but like your face is blurred out.
Yeah, it's like a frictional movement type of thing. Yeah.
Can you explain that art?
Yeah, that was Antonio's idea. Okay. But it also just plays into the idea of the project itself, because I'm in a lot of different directions mentally if I'm in that space.
I freaking that's actually kind of cool, because that makes a lot of more sense now. You know, there's a couple of things that I really liked about the track, or the album, all body of work all together. And one was, and I think you put it on other albums too, was seeing the parental advisory warning on it. I feel like you don't see that anymore. I feel like, in my opinion, and I was like, oh, that's like a throwback. Obviously, I like the skit. And then the track that I really liked was Why You Playing.
Yeah, I love Why You Playing as well. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I was like, man, this guy's going hard right here. He's going hard right here. He's being Mr. Not Nice Guy on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm constantly kind of put into the bully role by some people. So, you know, it's fun. That's always fun to do that.
Wow, I just had an idea, and maybe you can, but obviously, you know, Cam Gnarly.
Yep. That's my guy.
I was just thinking, I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to either have an album or a track with you and Cam playing like Good Cop, Bad Cop, or Angel and Demon type of thing.
Oh, it's definitely been discussed. Me and Nara have always gone back and forth. We're super overdue. Our paths and timelines are very similar.
Okay.
We both went by different names. We both changed our names to what we have them as now, or literally, I want to say, within a month or so of each other.
Wow.
Our first big records that we had dropped simultaneously. Like within the city, Majin Buu from Noah, Cabbage from Gnarly, and Sailor Moon from me all dropped in the same like month span.
Wow.
So it's just like we've always had like a parallel thing, and there's always a mutual respect. He's from the north end, I'm from the west side. So it's like we've always had a mutual respect for each other.
Okay.
But we just have yet to be on a record together. So people have always like come to us with like random Cam ideas or beef concepts. Shout out to Waju, who says he's still trying to get the Cam beef.
The Cam beef?
Yeah, he always jokes about that. He wants to say, y'all got to get the beef going. Where's the beef at?
Oh,
so shout out to my guy, Waju.
Hilarious.
He's a fool, man.
Hilarious. Yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to see, you know, since you play the bully, nice guy. I think that would be really cool. Either album or track concept.
Yeah, we're definitely going to cook up pretty soon. We just want it to happen organically.
And it will.
Yeah.
I think 2024 might be the year.
It very well could be. We've been having some discussions about stuff, so we'll see what comes. I got a lot of stuff musically I'm planning for 2024, so just got to schedule it out properly.
Gotcha. 24, I think it's going to be a really good year, 2024.
Yeah, it should be.
As far as people, you know, pursuing their dreams and wanting to get things done, I think it's going to be really good. And I've been hearing that people have been saying that, you know, the IE and San Bernardino have been on this artistic wave where people are starting to catch up to like the artistic scene that's happening out here. And so I think a lot of good things are going to be happening, not only for people who are pursuing their dreams, but I guess for the area in itself.
Absolutely.
And, you know, in a lot of your tracks, you rap about being from San Bernardino. Why is that important?
Because I do not like just, especially when, like, not being from LA is almost like a foreign concept to people when they think about music from California. They automatically associate it with Los Angeles. They either associate it with LA or they associate it with the Bay, but they don't associate it with us, and that's weird. You know what I mean? Especially, but it doesn't help that a lot of artists will come from the IE and then claim LA. Or they just won't claim the IE at all. So I mean, so that doesn't help the scenario either. But I mean, it happens just I do shows in Arizona or I do shows, you know, out of state, and they'll say, "Oh, we got this artist coming from LA," and it's like, no, I'm not. I get on. That's why the first thing I say whenever I'm on stage is, "My name is Cam Archer. I'm from San Bernardino, California." I don't care where I'm performing, what I'm doing. That is my opening mission statement. So you know where I'm from. You know what I'm doing. And you never know who that's going to connect with. I'm like, when I did my first show when I went for Lupe at the observatory, that's the first thing I said. And I ended up meeting a lot of people who chose to support even more, not just because they love the music, but the fact that I was so ready to say that. And I also met somebody who's now like a brother to me because he went to Cal State San Bernardino. He came to see Lupe. And once he heard, his ears perked up when I said I'm from San Bernardino. And it turns out he knew my brother Dre. So it was like one of those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I don't say that and I don't connect with people, you don't know where people are from. You don't know what connection they may have.
True.
And it's also, you might be from a small city or a small town. We're not small, but we're viewed as small. We're bigger than a lot of these places. But we're viewed as small because we're not LA. You should connect with that when you're from a smaller place, because you're like, oh, so you don't have to be from big city.
Yeah.
You can even go, you want to go to LA and build your name. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't act like you're from there. Remember where you are from, so that the kids who are from where you're from know that you can say you're from where you're from and still do what you want to do.
As opposed to being ashamed.
Exactly. You can go to LA and get your bread up and build a fan base or whatever, but don't say I'm from LA. Got
you. You actually know people who are from the IE, San Bernardino, but they claim LA?
Absolutely. Listen to some of these dudes' bios. Go check them out. It's not a secret. They know what they're doing. It's fine. Do what you do. But then don't be mad when it's, oh, this city never claimed me or whatever, you know. What work did you put in? What footwork did you put in? Were you out here really were you out here really doing shows? Were you out here making yourself relevant to people out here who were doing things? Or were you just at home and you caught an internet wave? And now you're saying, oh, I don't claim the IE. The IE's bunk. The IE's whack because they didn't support me. We didn't know you. How are we supposed to know you? You know how big the IE is? There's millions of people here.
Facts.
So you have to get out there and show your face or do something for us to actually know who you are. There's so many different pockets of music in the IE. It's ridiculous. Just hip hop alone. True. There's so many different circles of hip hop in the IE. You can literally go, if you don't like this type of hip hop, go listen to this type of hip hop in this group of people. Go listen to this type of hip hop in this group of people. I don't want to call it segregated, but it's just so pocketed that you can know about an artist who's big over here and they don't know anything about that artist over here. Wow. So you got to build that awareness and don't try to act like just because you put 3 songs on SoundCloud and nobody heard it over here and they
Hilarious.
they didn't champion you, that they don't care, or that you rep where you from, bro. That's who made you.
Period.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. I guess people are trying to do anything to get clout. That's the thing, right? In the end of the day.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's not always about like building a body of work. Unfortunately, now it's more so, which is a hindrance for me. It's more so like getting a song to catch or, that type of thing.
What do you mean is a hindrance for you?
Excuse me. I say it's a hindrance because I think in albums. I don't think in singles.
Bodies of work.
Yeah. I think of how the picture comes out, not just the song. So when I did a song like Sailor Moon, which was like my first big song, I then said, okay, now how do I make sure that this fits within the album sense? I wasn't thinking about, I got to follow this up with this next single and this next single and this next single. That's not an album. It's not a body of work. Like when you, I remember when I first started, when OE, my collective Over Everything, first really came together. And I'm talking to my guy, Kasai, about this album idea I have. He's like, okay, well, what's the album about?
Jay Kasai?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, I got all these songs. And he's like, well, what's the album about? And I'm like, I don't know. You have to like build. So that's when I was like, you're right. I need to build up a world and a narrative to create around these things, because that's what actually gives staying power. The best albums usually have a narrative. Yeah. And I also like to think of albums like movies. And
makes sense.
And a cinema experience, you know what I mean? So even like my last album, like full on, like the one thing I like to say was an album was Inside Voices in 2019. There's like a screenplay for that I just didn't put out. Like I was like, this is like the soundtrack to this situation, this movie, this scenario. This is the soundtrack to that. That's how I like to look at shit. But sorry if I curse for them.
No, you're good.
But
you're
like,
free.
If I'm just, I've never been able to be that guy who's like, I recorded 200 songs. And we narrowed down that 200 songs to 50 songs. And then we narrowed that down to 12. And that's how you got this body of work. No, that doesn't There's no way you recorded 200 songs to fit the narrative you were creating. There's no way.
Okay.
So with me, I literally will sit down, and this is why I say it's a hindrance. It's a hindrance to me as well, because it's so, I get so transfixed on it. But I'll sit down and go like, I have an idea. I need 12 songs. These are what these 12 songs need to do. All right, boom. Let's just finish this album.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I guess it's kind of like sirens in the background, folks. And it's kind of like trying to find a balance between adapting to the new wave, which it's like single driven. People are looking for singles, but then also keeping the tradition of albums. Like a Thriller is an album. Dark Side of the Moon is a concept album. I think is what we're talking about mostly,
Ziggy
right?
Stardust,
yeah.
You know, like
Concept albums.
Yeah. Shout out to David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, all that. Like, but you gotta like. At the same time, though, we're very fortunate to be in this time frame because we can seek out the people that want to hear what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And it's much easier to find that 100 to 200, 300 people who could actually supplement a 9-to-5 income, and you can make a living by focusing on those 100 to 500 people who really love what you are creating, and they'll buy either all of to half of what you create, and you're making a living doing what you love.
Gotcha.
So we're very fortunate to live in that age, but you also have to get through a lot of crap.
True.
You got to get through a lot of people who are just here because they got a microphone off eBay. You know what I'm saying? They saw someone on Amazon. They got a quick deal. They bought a Scarlett 2i2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now that they got to focus right, they think they out here. You know what I mean?
It's
so they
true.
think they can, and they just rapping on whatever. They're making whatever. It's tough, but you have to have like kind of like the love of it to really just keep going, I guess.
And to push through.
Yeah.
I do really believe that good art never dies. I really believe that. For example, books are behind us. And, eventually, like, the rose will always be shown. They'll pop through all the shit you're saying, like the bullshit.
Yeah.
And going back to, like, I think we're talking about like the industry being flooded. How many people that have a quote unquote podcast now, right? Like everybody and their mom has a podcast, right? But I believe in the work here. I believe it stands out in comparison to other people's work. And I don't even want to call it a podcast, but it's just easier to connect with people by saying it's a podcast. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree. But I definitely do believe that great art always shines through, right?
Yeah.
And people realize. And a lot of people are just doing things just going back to clout again. People are just doing things to be seen. They're not genuinely interested or care about that art and love.
Yeah.
Right.
But now it's because it's not just the great art anymore. It's the persistence to push the great art. Because it used to just be, you could do great art and eventually it might fall into the right hands. But now their hands are full. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got a cart. They're at the grocery store trying to carry everything to the front.
Facts.
How are you you have to find and it's annoying, but you have to find a way to make sure that good art gets through. And of course, nowadays that is repackaging it and repurposing it 20, 30 times and posting it over and over again.
Got you.
I mean, or you might get lucky. I mean, I made connections just off of when I met Rockweiler. It was because I did a music video for this song called Clean Air. That was on a project I did in 2020 called No Apologies. We did a video for it at formerly Serious Cartoon. Shout out to my guy Phantom Threat for allowing me to use the record store when it was open. I missed that place still. Shot a video, made it, did a little Instagram promotion for like $50. I think it was like $50.
Yeah.
And I got a DM from a guy from New York saying like, yo, this is amazing. I was like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, just cool. He's like, let me FaceTime you. And I was like, that's weird.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? All right, cool.
No precursor, no nothing. Just let me FaceTime you?
Yeah, he just wanted to FaceTime me.
Okay.
So he hits me up. He starts talking to me about all these people he knows and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
okay.
Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'm jaded to that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not like hype, but I'm like, all right, cool, man. I appreciate it. He's like, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. All right, cool. Next day he FaceTimes me because he kept saying he's best friends with Rockweiler. He's best friends with Rockweiler. The next day he FaceTimes me, 3-way FaceTime with Rockweiler. Right, that day Rockweiler sends me like a pack of beats. That night I sent Rockweiler back a pack of songs. And we're still trying to figure out when this album's gonna drop. I got a project with Rockweiler. So I've released a couple of the records. Rain was produced by Rockweiler and Body Rock was produced by Rockweiler. So we're still trying to figure out how we're gonna get that album out. And there's some eyes on it, that have been watching us through the process. But yeah, like you never know.
True.
You never know who's gonna see it. So I did,
True.
or me going on like me doing the Bootleg Kev freestyle I did last year.
Okay.
Shout out to Bootleg Kev. I'm coming back at some point in the next couple weeks. Shout out to you. I don't even usually post my stuff on Twitter consistently because I don't get a lot of traction on Twitter. It's just that mental thing, like, who's looking, right?
Yeah.
So I got hit up from the producer of Kev's show saying, I saw this freestyle you did. I want you to come on Bootleg Kev's show on Freestyle.
Via Twitter?
And he saw it on Twitter.
Wow.
I thought he saw it via Instagram. He's like, no, man, I saw you on Twitter. I was like, okay. Our best example is my biggest moment to me, just because of what it meant to me personally, was, and this is another example of don't get in your own head about stuff, about the art you make, was when Hybrid Theory's 20th anniversary was coming up.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to do a freestyle over a certain beat. I was trying to decide. I was leaning towards High Voltage, and I wanted to rap over it, and I wanted to basically do a verse where I put every like title of the songs, right? So I was like, all right, I want to do that. And I was getting in my head like, man, why? For what? What are you gonna do it for? Don't do that. Don't bother with that.
Started knocking yourself down.
Yeah, I'm like, he's just gonna, I don't even. And eventually I was like, nah, just do it. And I did it, shot a quick video for it, and I put it on Twitter. Put it up on Twitter. And, tag Linkin Park, tag Mike, and I posted. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm looking, I'm just getting like a lot of likes, a lot of posts, a lot of reposts, a lot of like retweets. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's cool. And then somebody hits. And then I see like somebody like adds me and they're like, yo, this is crazy. I can't believe he saw it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look and Mike Shinoda liked it and reposted it.
Oh, wow.
And I lost my mind. Like, I fell to the floor. I'm like, yo, Mike Shinoda saw my shit and he liked it and he reposted it. Like, I write the way I write because of this dude. Like, this is insane to me. Like, this is crazy. So when he started, like, the next year, he started this segment he was going to start doing. He was doing a lot of Twitch at the time during the pandemic. He was like, I'm going to do something called Shinoda Produce Me, where I, like, you guys send me a song. If I like it, I'll reproduce it. I'll do a new beat to it, and you can put it out however you want.
Dope.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do a whole new song. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But I posted that again, like, just to be like, hey, just a reminder, Mike, hey, remember me? Ha-ha. That type of thing. He immediately DMs me. He's like, send me this. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to do a new beat to it. And I was like, what? So I got the files as quickly as I could, and I still have it. He did a live Twitch stream where he's like doing the beat.
Okay.
And he's like adding in stuff and like cuts from like classic Linkin Park stuff. Like, and I'm just sitting back like, these are like Fort Minor drums and snares. And like I'm watching as much as I can because I'm working a day job.
Okay.
And I'm like trying to like tap in, and people see him like, Cam, he's doing your song. And they're like tagging me in it. And hearing him be like, hey, Cam, what do you think about this on this part of the song? And I'm like, what you mean? What do I think?
Yes.
You might should do whatever you want, bro.
Got you.
Like but that was like very, very much like that hit me really, really hard to know that I had, and that all could have never happened if I'd have just did what I was originally thinking, which was talking myself out of it.
Got you.
Just promote what's good. If you think it's good, do it and push it out there.
Got you. Especially because I think your original instinct was to put it out, and then your second instinct was, why should I put it out?
Exactly.
Right?
Don't doubt it. Just do it.
Yeah.
What's more content that's good gonna do to harm you?
Got you. And they say no such thing as bad publicity. All publicity is good publicity. In the end.
To a degree. To a degree. Yeah.
That's so hilarious. You mentioned, Curtis King earlier, and I've been following and learning more about this guy. I didn't even know he was IE based guy for a while.
He was originally from Carson originally. He moved out here around like 2008, 2009. He moved out to the IE.
Okay.
And he really started to really bubble. So to me, he's an IE guy. I don't care what you say, Kurt. Fight me. You IE, bro.
IE.
Yeah.
So, I noticed that he posted a lot of stuff to like help we'll just say rappers right now go independent and make a lane. Has any of the stuff that he said you've picked up and used?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have like the utmost respect for Kurt. I know I joke a lot. Me and Kurt like joke. So if you see us in person, we do the most inflammatory jokes to each other.
Okay.
Like, oh, you made it here? Oh, that's crazy. You drove by yourself? Oh,
Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Okay.
You check your brakes?
Hilarious.
But like, I have the utmost respect for Kurt, not just because he is the person who told me to come into the IE music scene. He's the one who told me about it. I was naive. I didn't know any better. But just because I've watched him literally just turn a situation that most would quit in, they would quit. He turned it into a positive and a success multiple times. I've watched Curtis do that.
Gotcha.
So I have the utmost respect for Curtis. So yeah, anytime I watch those videos and I go, yeah, I'm gonna apply some of this for sure. Because Curtis he's an amazing speaker. And once he gets his mind onto something, as you see now with this entire push to go fully independent and take his stuff off streaming, he's gonna go full board into it and see what the result is, no matter what the outside noise is to that. And I have the utmost respect for that. But yeah, I watch his videos and I take what I can to apply it to what I do into my craft. I wish at the time I would have jumped on his he was doing courses about like doing like how to get your YouTube up, stuff like that. Should have took him. You know what I'm saying? That would have been the only school I should have went to. But
that part.
but yeah, no, I have the utmost respect for Curtis. So I definitely take what I can from his videos when applicable.
Gotcha. How did you first meet him? Because he said he was the one that introduced you to the IE scene. So how did you meet him?
Yeah, so this was when I was like 18, 19. I'm naive. I didn't go out like that. So I didn't really know about the IE music scene. I was
latchkey kid.
Yeah, I was latchkey kid. Like I remember being like 18 and staying at my home. I was 18, maybe 19. Yeah, I was like 19. And my homie had an apartment, comic, in Fontana. I used to be at his house, and he would go to work. And he had a laptop, and he had a desktop computer, but he had the Magic's recording program.
Okay.
Not sure if anybody's ever used that, but my God. We didn't know how to punch. So we would just do one takes. So that also is a part of why I do one takes now. I know how to punch now. I'm not that naive, but at the time I didn't know how. So it made me, you better one take this. And I would go to his apartment and I would spend the day there. And I remember I did like in a day, I did like a 20-song mixtape. I would just do that type of stuff. And in my head, I'm like, I'm going to take the IE by storm. They ain't never seen nothing like me. I'm me. And as I'm like actually starting to make better music, I go on Twitter. And I remember I first hear about like Noah James. Didn't know what he looked like. I follow him. And then I hear about some dude named Curtis King. And I follow him. And this is when he was putting out Snick at Night, which was an amazing, still a fire mixtape. I just told him this recently. Snick at Night, where he did a bunch of samples like Nickelodeon stuff. And as a latchkey kid, you already know. That was, you speaking the soul right there.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So,
real monsters.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He had all these crazy samples and Guts and Doug and like all this stuff, like fire, crazy stuff. Ren and Stimpy. And I remember I see him on Twitter and he's conversing with us. I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, this dude's like, he's somebody, you know what I mean? But he was like, oh yeah, man, you know, I do this stuff at the Common Ground, it's in Riverside. You should come out. You should come out to these events. And I'm like, I had no idea what it was, but I tell my bro, Dre, and he's like, yeah, let's go. No, he's like, I'm aware of that. Like, I know of it. Like, we can go. And I remember going out there Sunday night, and there's this huge dude working at the door, and I'm thinking that's security. You know, I was like, they got some real security in here. And we're going in there, and Richard Wright, shout out to him, he was on stage at the time rapping. I was like, yo, this dude's like really good. And then that dude I thought was a security guard got on stage. It was Noah. Met Noah James. I was
Hilarious.
Like, and Noah gets up there, starts rapping. Like, yo, like these dudes are like, this is how you see? Like, I was mind boggling. I met Curtis towards the end of the night with his foxtail on. Never gonna let him live that down. And I remember being like, yo, he's like, yeah, man, you gotta come out. I remember asking Noah. I got on stage and freestyle towards the end of the night once I got it. Because in my head, I was also still like, even though I performed on stage, I'm nervous. I was thinking, well, they're rapping on stage. Like anybody could go up and freestyle, but what if I'm not good enough to freestyle with them? And I went up there and freestyle, and I did well. And after that, I was just like, hey, Noah, my name's Cam. You know, I would like to perform at an event. He's like, yeah, just come to the next one. You got a set.
Dope.
And he gave me my first solo performance slot at the Common Ground. So
Dope.
That's where it all went from there.
Gotcha. What year was this?
2010.
2010.
Yeah. Well, I want to say I went to that Common Ground in 2009, and then I performed in 2010 at the Common Ground. It was like the end of the year, because my first mixtape was released on January 10th of 2010, and it was called The Exception. Oh, man, I really thought I was doing something.
Gotcha. Under Catalyst.
That was Catalyst, yeah. And I remember going and doing that set. And my favorite part of that set, and I love this part of that story, is I don't know why I had this. I've never been the guy, and I always tell artists never to do this. I don't like when artists say, oh man, I messed up, my bad, y'all. Like, they don't know that.
On stage when you're live. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They don't know you messed up. Make it seem like it's a part of the song.
Yeah, that part.
Like,
true.
Make it a part of the show. Don't let them know that you messed up or they caught you lacking. And I remember I was performing a song, and my movement was trash at the time. So I was just kind of like stationary front of the stage thinking I'm Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
And I remember I spit a bar, and I forgot the next bars, like the next 2 to 4 bars. And I spit the bar, and I just put the mic down. I looked out confidently into the crowd. And the crowd just started cheering, and I was like, "Oh, you remember the next bars? Come on, kid!" And then I officially came back and started rapping again.
Nice.
But people thought it was a part of the show.
Was the beat still going?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just forgot the next lyrics. But the crowd went crazy because it seemed like I was so confident when I put the mic down. They were like, "Oh!"
You pull a Michael Jackson when he gets on stage and just stands there.
Stands there. I did that. I got hot back in. Like I finally retract the lyrics and I hot back in.
In the right place and right time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But you just got to look confident. Just
that part. Confidence does matter.
Absolutely.
You know, there was another thing that you said about Curtis, and we'll move on, but you said most people would have quit, but he went forward. Do you know the situation that it was that you're referring to?
Just life situations.
Okay.
If you've read his book, he has a really good book as well. Curtis's book is very, very good. Just experiences where he's trying to strive out. He's going out, he's sleeping on couches. He's, you know what I mean, just really just immediately quitting his job and just saying, I'm going to pursue this music thing no matter where it takes me. Going to the bottom of that, feeling like you're up here getting these production placements with big artists, having to start from the bottom again and build back up. Like, that's a lot. That takes a lot. A lot of people would have just been like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to get a regular day job and I'm going to keep it pushing. And Curtis was, nah, this is what I want to do. This is what I know I'm good at. And Curtis was going to keep pushing at that. And that's very inspirational stuff, man. Especially when you see it firsthand. It's different. You can hear it all you want. Everybody knows success stories from entertainment, movies, books, whatever. But to see it firsthand and know that person personally, it's a different feeling.
Yeah. Inspirational, low key, right?
Absolutely.
Big facts. You know, one of the things that I really liked was that you mentioned that Mike from Linkin Park was one of your inspirations for writing and rapping.
Absolutely.
Who's some of your people that inspired you to rap or styles that you really enjoyed?
As far as just purely rapping goes,
Yeah.
in my music, because my music inspirations list is vast. But as far as just the rappers go, I got 50 Cent made me want to rap, not so much the style that I rap in, but that was when I officially knew, like, I want to rap. Was when I bought Get Rich or Die Trying.
Produced by Dre?
What's up?
Produced by Dre?
Oh, no, just the album. Well, some of that album was produced by Dre.
Okay.
But yeah, but that album in general. My style of rap is definitely influenced by the fact that I kind of grew up in the duality of things, once again, with rap. So I was big on the Hot Boys as a kid. So a lot of Juve, a lot of Wayne.
There's a line that you say about, oh, God, swallow my delinquents, something like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I was proud of myself with that one.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. I was big on Eminem's first few albums, so that played a role in the way that I rap, especially the way I pack syllables into things. Lupe is probably the biggest that you can audibly hear.
Okay.
And then early on, you could really hear Wale as well. Those were two really big. I remember I was so mad. At the time, I was mad. Now I don't care. But at the time, I remember I was recording, and my bro Dre Shot's recording me, and somebody comes in. I don't see who it is. The door to it was a closet, of course. The closet door shut. Somebody comes in. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm recording my boy right now." And like I record a couple bars, and I'm like, "Yo, hold that. Let me hear that." And he goes, "That sounds good. That guy sounds just like Lupe." It's like, oh man. But like that was Lupe is a heavy one. Wale, Royce, Lloyd Banks. Still major for me as far as like the way that I rap. Fonte. It's funny, I didn't listen to as much Elzai, but you can hear Elzai, I think, a bit in how I rap too. It's just kind of inherent. I think it's just similar stylings.
Interesting.
But those were probably the biggest ones. Of course, that Wayne run was super inspirational to the way I rap as well.
You know, it's interesting because I had this kind of similar conversation with Tangent. Shout out to you, Tangent, which is that like this era of people who were, because you mentioned Eminem, were influenced by Eminem's rap style. And so it kind of just made me think about that. And then I was talking to your boy, Nicholas Gray, about how like the similarities between Royce and Eminem and more of a relatability because Royce is a black male, so he has a black experience to understand. I believe that's what me and him had a conversation about. I think it was Nick. I hope it was Nick that said that. But yeah, I do hope it was Nick that said that. Anyway, with all that said, how would you define your style, if you could define it?
How do I define the way that I rap?
Yeah, or your artistic style. Let's do both. If it's two different things.
Yeah, I would say that the way I rap is it's basically human high art.
Say it one more time, please.
It's human high art.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I try to
Like
keep
high
it.
consciousness?
Yeah, well, it's not even, I don't even like to say consciousness with it. Like, but just more so like, I try to convey the experience of what everybody goes through in the most open for interpretation way possible.
Okay. Can you give an example?
Sure. So I mean, like if like my album, when I make albums, I try to have all human emotions conveyed in an album,
Okay.
and then it's just how you attach to those emotions is how you then view the album. So somebody might listen to Cam Is Outside and think that I just made a turn up album. Somebody else might listen to Cam Is Outside and think I might have made a street album. And somebody else might listen to Cam Is Outside and think I might have just made like some type of, I tried to bite Kendrick and make some like Good Kid, Mad City light. You can get all of those things and they're all justifiable. It's art at that point. You put it out in the world, it's immediately art. But the way I rap makes it a higher level of that because I rap well. Okay. Which is an arrogant thing to say, but I just rap well.
Gotcha.
So like I rap.
It's also confidence.
Yeah, like I have the technicality of rap down. So I can rap. I know how to manipulate pockets. I know how to do all these things. So I'm gonna rap in a way that even when it sounds like I'm like when Chuck Dizzle heard Why You Playing. Chuck Dizzle, shout out to you, Homegrown Radio out in LA. You got me on, on Real 92.3. I appreciate you very much. So
hey.
When I played him that song, he was like, "You wrote this in like 20 minutes, didn't you?" I was like, "Yeah." You know what I mean? Like
he already knew.
He knew. He knew that wasn't a challenge for me. That's not something that's going to take me a long time to conceptualize and do. Yeah. But I'm doing it in a way and I'm putting it into a body of work and into a project where you have to look at it as a whole project. And you have to look at it through this. I add the narration because I'm telling you a story. It's not just music. It's a whole narrative. It's a story. It's a plot line. You can visualize it now. It's an audio visual. You see it all. So it's human high art. I love it. You can feel this on a human level no matter how you feel an emotion. Something in this is going to connect with you emotionally. But I'm putting it into an art piece so you can see it. It's a high art. I like that. My opinion, I think you should probably tagline that to your brand, Human High Art, or name it an album after that. Because I think if that's who you are, now you know what I'm saying? Relate to the brand. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Especially because I love the fact that I'm fortunate to be in a place where my music does come from my experience in life. And when you make music that comes from your experience in life, then you can actually connect with people on an actual emotional level. Because there's artists who like, and I love this artist. Okay. Travis Scott. I love Travis. Travis has people who like live and die by Travis's music. But Travis don't be really saying a whole lot. It's about the energy of the music. And that's a craft. That's not something that anybody can just do. I see. And Travis does it. Okay. I may not have that same magnetism, so I have to put my heart and my art out there into my art so that people can see it and they can relate to what I'm saying. Okay. So the people that have said like your music has affected my life or has helped me get through something, that helps me create the way I create. I love that. Yeah. And I guess it's just different people's approaches to how they make their music, right? The Travis Scott and stuff like that. Like, I think I just talked to someone else about this recently. Like I didn't understand Tyler the Creator for a while. I was like sleeping on him. I was like, I just don't get it. And then I recently watched, he did a concert recently and it came on YouTube and I was like, you know what? Let me just give him another chance. And I watched it and I was like, I get it. I fuck with it. I just get it. I feel you. I wasn't a big Travis guy until Cherry Bomb, which is funny because a lot of people don't like that album, but I wasn't really big on Travis until then. And then from there, I'm a fan for sure. Like Travis, I get it. Yeah. And obviously you say you rap well. Your homie, I'm not sure, was it Dre that put you under the fire to go to these girls and rap in the rap? That wasn't Dre, but Dre would probably do. Dre was the guy who, that was like my boy GQ and all them before that. Dre was the guy who he wouldn't let me start writing my verses until we freestyled first and would battle each other. Oh wow. That was Dre. And it would annoy the hell out of me. But he was always, we gotta rap. He would just put on a beat, he would start freestyling and just start dissing me and we would just start going back and forth. And that was to get the flow, get into a flow. For him, that was like, now we're in a rhythm, now we can write easier. And I get it now, but shout out to Dre. I used to annoy the hell out of me. Got you. But everyone would put you under these pressures to basically sharpen your sword as an MC and a freestyler, right? Correct. So we had this thing we like to do here on the Empire. Like, if I kick a beat, Cam, will you freestyle for us? I mean, I guess. I usually don't, but I'm usually I was always that guy who like I freestyle. I'm like, you know, in the movies where people are like, I only like there's that guy who's like a really good gunman who doesn't want to fire his weapon. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the best example would be like Vash the Stampede from Trigun would be
Here we go. Shout
would
out.
be an example from my style of stuff where it's like I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? Like
Got you.
it's like I don't do this unless it's like I'm forced to do it. Like one of the biggest examples of that is when I was on Shade 4-5. I'm a terrible memorizer, by the way, so that also helps being able to freestyle.
Beautiful.
But I'm terrible at memorizing things. So when I was going on Shade 4-5, I was like nervous as hell. Like, all right, what are you gonna spit?
Is that Sway in the morning?
I didn't do Sway.
Okay.
Everybody thinks I did. I didn't do Sway. Not yet, anyway. I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Coming soon.
It'll happen. I was the weekend work show, and I was like, what am I gonna rap? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then somebody's like, hey, I heard you're good at freestyle, and I was like, yeah. Matter of fact, if you just point things out in the room, I can freestyle about all that stuff. So I freestyle for like 7-8 minutes, just like going off stuff in the room. And I was like, that just saved my ass because I was like so on the way to the station, just like, dog, what am I gonna rap? What am I gonna rap? Like I'm up here because they know I can rap. Like, so what am I gonna rap? Like just overthinking it. So yeah, definitely freestyling is important. But I usually don't like just freestyle anymore like that. Okay. It's always like, what's the situation? What am I doing? Do I need to freestyle? I can freestyle. I'm that guy.
Well, you know, it's a thing we like to do because I like to, you know, just the art of freestyling, letting MCs show their talent and stuff like that.
So people usually do that on the show, right?
Yes. So far, no one has not done it yet.
Well, then I'm not gonna be the first one to not do it. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm not gonna not do it if that's the case. Yeah.
But you don't have to do it if you don't want to. That's the whole thing.
Well, no. Now it's like everybody else has done it. I'm a fall for peer pressure. You know, I don't fall for peer pressure. But if everybody else has done it, I'm not gonna break the stride of your show, sir.
Got you. Well, you know, I don't want to twist your arm. That's the whole thing.
No, it's fine.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
So if I kick a beat, you're gonna freestyle with us?
Sure, why not?
Gotcha. Freestyle session commence.
Yep. Yeah. The gold on my arm match the plaques on the wall. Not yet, but I'm sure the statue is like 50 feet tall by the time I'm finished. And the home is like a mall you cannot diminish. What I give is Darth Maul when I kick from scrimmage. That means double-sided sword, you will be diminished. I mean, cut to a fraction. The action provided from the passion leaves them like Dag Nabbit. Cam is out branding all of these young rappers, new or old. I am in cruise control. I don't even hold the steering wheel anymore. Don't drive a Tesla, but I bet if you speed by, I'm still catching up. Was next to Bus. Could probably get a verse from Buster Rhymes or two, cause I'm what's supplying you with what's hot right now and the flavor in your ear. The Dungeon Dragon that'll never disappear. While you dragging still behind, you still chasing in the rear. Pause is what it is, dog. Cam and Mace lace lines hit them from the smear, dog. Smear campaigns cannot catch up. I do not neglect. I just press up like man defense from Reeves. G's, this level is amazing. They can peer through, but they can't deceive this young Negro that came out the pits of hell on 13th to provide De Niro to his family. That's heat. You don't get it, but I speak like Pacino and they reek of the Scarface. Leave them with that. That's coke lines. They deceiving with that. I appear from the smoke, then I leave with the black. I'm out.
Thank you, Cam.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Ooh, we love it, don't we, folks? Don't we? We love it. It's definitely one of the things we do. Yeah, thank you so much, man. I love freestyling. And speaking of tangent earlier, he was saying, yeah, he was like, man, Cam is he's like one of the dopest freestyles out here. He's like killer Cam, basically.
Yeah. Me and Tangent have seen our fair share of run-ins when it comes to that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us, man. I appreciate it so much. You know, and you mentioned it earlier, right? And talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, why is wrestling so important to you? And when I was listening to some of your tracks, especially the one I said I liked, which I can't even think of the title, like, Why You Playing With Me? Mm-hmm. I'm like this guy is like a heel. He's like a heel, you know? And I saw, you posted something about Razor Ramon, rest in peace, and then meeting
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. I was gonna say Bret Sharp, but I guess his brother was probably more of a heel, rest in peace as well, than he was.
Owen. Yeah, Owen played the heel way more often. Yeah.
But and then even shout out, you even posted stuff about, you even rap about wrestling in your tracks. You give a shout out to that.
Yeah.
So why is wrestling so important to you?
I don't know. I really don't. I've just been a fan. I mean, one of my earliest memories was watching WrestleMania. This is probably before I was even supposed to have a memory, but we definitely watched the WrestleMania. My mom was a wrestling fan for a little while.
Wow.
And then me and my sister were wrestling fans until my sister would graduate high school. And then I just never stopped watching. I've always watched wrestling my entire life.
You still watch it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Still a big fan of wrestling. So I don't know why, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's high athleticism, and it's a level of athleticism that's very underrated because you can't just be a great athlete. You also have to be able to tell a story on top of that. And the amount of damage their bodies have to take. I don't know if you've ever been in a wrestling ring. I don't know if you've ever taken a bump.
No.
It hurts like hell.
You've done it before?
Absolutely. Well, shout out to Rival Pro Wrestling, my guy, Big Rob. Rival Pro Wrestling puts on events out here, LA, but it's an IE-based group of people that put that together. So shout out to Big Rob, Rival Pro Wrestling. Check them out. A lot of people you see on AEW now and some in NXT, we had them booked on Rival Pro before the pandemic. So we were putting those events together so the ring would get put together and you're just standing next to the ring and you're like, yo, I was like, I'm gonna try to take a bump in this ring. And you realize that, what they say is true. It's all wood and then gym mats this thick
underneath it, or on top of it.
Yeah. But otherwise it's just wood planking that has to be sturdy enough to not break. So that's what you are actually falling on.
Wow.
So that stuff hurts. So that's why they say they have to develop, recallus their body to really get back on the road and work. And then you're doing that 300 days a year. If you're working for WWE, and sometimes more if you're working independent to actually make some money.
Yeah.
That stuff hurts, bro. So to be able to do all that, develop a character, go to the gym, you know what I'm saying, build yourself up to that degree and physically as well, and be mentally strong enough to deal with all the pressures of constant travel and things of that nature. That doesn't get enough respect. So, and then of course you get people who say oh, it's fake. So
what part of it is fake?
All of this stuff is fake, bro.
You know
what I mean? What are you talking? You gonna go watch that movie? You know it's fake, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who cares? Enjoy it for what it is, and it's amazing. It's amazing athleticism. I don't know why. From ever since I was a little kid, man, I've loved professional wrestling.
Gotcha. I remember someone told me it's like a male soap opera.
Yeah, you can look at it that way for sure. I've definitely, especially when when women try to clown men for watching wrestling and then watch Real Housewives or the Challenge or something like that. I'm like, you're just watching. That's for you. It's for me.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
That's I was watching a documentary. I think it's a biography of Mick Foley. And he talked about he just wanted to take things to the next level at the time. And he was like, I know how much, was it Shawn Michaels who said it? He was like, I know how much it hurts doing these moves in the ring. He's like, I can't imagine how much harder it hurts to do it outside of the ring. And Mick Foley was like, this is what I want to do to take it to the next level, right?
Yeah. Mick is a psychopath. Yeah. I don't know how he's alive right now, to be completely honest with you.
That part, and it took me a while because Mick Foley wasn't my first person. I used to like X-Pac first originally. But then I started to appreciate Mick Foley because I realized everything he was doing was for the fans. He would risk his whole body for the fans. That's the only reason why he was doing it. And not even on top of that, I was like, I'm not sure how many people get to choose their specials or their finishers. And I was like, this guy literally, his special is to pull a dirty sock out of his crotch and put it on someone's mouth.
He definitely thought of that, which is insane. Because he was already using the mandible claw and he just took it to the next level with that. Yeah. He did a skit with Vince McMahon.
In the hospital.
Where he did Mr. Socko and then he just took it to that next level. I've always had respect for people who allow him to then pull a sock out of his pants and then put it in their mouth.
Yeah.
That's the people I'm like, yo.
Respect.
You got to hold them. The check must be good because, bruh. Whew. Especially because they did a short about this where Triple H was talking about how Mick wasn't really washing his clothes like that.
That part, yeah.
He was like, we did a show, we wrestled, we came back, I took a shower. Mick came in, went and took a shower, dried off with the shirt he was wearing, and put it back on, and he left. and that was what he was wearing for the next event.
I love it.
Like, what, fam? We gotta wrestle. That stuff stink. You got me in a headlock.
That
you know
part.
what I mean? Like, come on, bro. But yeah, Mick was a guy. He was a character for sure.
And what I really learned a lot about Mick as I started to like, 'cause I guess they call it like the golden era of wrestling, right? Attitude era type of thing.
I think they call the 80s the golden era, and then you have the attitude era.
Oh, the attitude.
I think they call any type of era where it first originally bubbled the golden era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the attitude era, like, I guess there's a lot of people who were obviously doing drugs and everything like that, but Mick was like a clean cut family guy.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, wow, like, and I learned a lot more about like Shawn Michaels being like on a whole nother level. And
Yeah, Shawn was out here wilding.
I didn't realize how many, because I think Undertaker was the one that said like, one of the people that gave the best matches to me was Shawn Michaels. And I started hearing other people praise Shawn Michaels as a great wrestler.
Yeah, some people view Shawn as like the GOAT. I don't.
Okay.
I love Shawn, but I don't view him to that light. But there are a lot of people, and who am I to say? I mean, I've never been a professional wrestler, so if a lot of these professional wrestlers feel that way, I'm not going to argue with them. But from my viewpoint, he's not the GOAT.
Got you. Who's your GOAT? And I think you already posted this, but we're going to do it again. Who's your top 5?
Wrestlers?
Yeah.
No, I just did entrances the other day.
Yeah.
I think that's what
it
you
was
saw.
entrances that you posted.
Yeah,
Okay.
said the entrances, and that's what I did. And that was just kind of off the top of the head. Is this like just my top 5, or just like what I think is the best 5 I've ever seen, or is it my 5?
Let's go with your instinct. How your instinct wants to answer. First your GOAT, and then your top 5.
My GOAT is Bret.
Bret Hart?
Bret Hart's the GOAT.
And you met him.
I met Bret. That was insane for me. That was such an crazy
Who did
thing.
he have a beef with? Was it Shawn Michaels?
He had a major beef with Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
So how could you like someone who's...
Oh, no, I still respect him.
Okay.
I respect the hell out of Shawn. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a grown man now. And him and Shawn, they've squashed
They
it
did.
now.
They
but
did.
like, I just don't think Shawn was as, but if I had to pick a top 5, like for me personally,
Yeah.
it's Bret, it's Rob Van Dam.
Wow. Rob
Van Dam is just ridiculously. Nobody got over being themselves as much as Rob Van Dam. Everybody else had to kind of take who they were and turn it up a level, or take a small part of their personality that wasn't really them and turn it up like to 11 or 12. Rob Van Dam was literally just Rob Van Dam all the time, and he became one of the most popular wrestlers in my lifetime.
Interesting.
And he was one of the best movesets. Like, nobody wrestled like Rob Van Dam.
True.
Nobody did what Rob Van Dam did and got over like Rob Van Dam did.
Was he really related to Jean-Claude, or was that a lie?
He was in no way related to
Okay.
he just kind of looked like him. But that was also before I was a real rapper, my first like name that I would write on all my raps was CVD, was Cam Van Dam. And that's how big of a Rob Van Dam fan I was. So yeah, Bret, Rob Van Dam, Taker is definitely in my top 5. Just when it comes to the versatility of being able to do everything, he's, to me, if we're being unbiased, I think he's probably the best ever.
Wow.
Just because of his size, and he can do anything in the ring. He could go against another big man and then play the small guy. You know what I mean? And then he could go against the small guy, have an amazing match. He could grapple, he could strike, he could do everything.
Wow.
Cut a promo, multiple characters, he did everything.
And he never broke character.
Never broke character. He just barely started doing interviews when he retired.
Yeah.
Like, insane level of commitment to the craft. Who else is in my top 5 if I had to just go off the top of the head?
Great definition of Undertaker being so versatile.
He was immensely versatile.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle's top 5
With the ankle lock.
Kurt Angle's top 5 all time. If you think about the fact that Kurt Angle came into the industry, only really trained for like 6 months, was world champion after a year, had won Intercontinental and European championships, King of the Ring.
True.
His transition from being just a traditional mat wrestler to being not just a great in-ring competitor, because that part, even the fact that it came so fast, it came easily to him. He looked natural. He looked great. He has some of the best selling of all time.
Okay.
And then on top of that, to be entertaining, he was actually really funny. He had some of the funniest stuff.
Yeah.
Kurt could do it all. He could have a great match with anybody. Kurt was one of them ones. And if I had to name one more in my personal top 5, looking at the whole body of work thing, I'll probably say, just off the top of my head, I'll throw Austin in there.
Stone Cold?
Stone Cold, yeah. I'll throw Stone Cold in there.
Got you. The Rock doesn't make the top 5.
No.
Okay.
Nah. Rock's run is too short.
In comparison to the rest.
Absolutely.
Got you.
Rock started in 96. Rock was in Hollywood by 2001.
Okay.
He was already doing the back
Scorpion
and
King
forth
thing?
thing. Yeah, he was already doing the Mummy Returns. He comes back. He goes the Scorpion King. He was already doing the back and forth thing. His run of like, I'm that guy wasn't as long.
Okay.
I mean, Austin's run was short too, but it was just
True.
The crack bomb went off when Austin hit. You know what I mean? Like the glass breaks and there's no other reaction like that in anything. Like so, and his run was cut short because he got dropped on his head, not because he wanted to go do other things. If he didn't get hurt, if he doesn't get that inverted pile driver from Owen, God rest Owen's soul, his career is much longer.
Oh, I thought it was his knees that was the reason.
It was his neck.
It was the neck?
He had a match at SummerSlam in '97 against Owen Hart, and normally in that position, you want to drop down. He was doing like basically a tombstone.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to drop down onto your knees, but Owen was like, no, I'm gonna do straight down
straight.
my butt.
Yeah, straight.
And instead of falling back where you put the weight onto your butt, he kind of just fell straight down. So Austin's neck just completely impacted. He broke his neck. And that pretty much, Austin was super hot at the time. He went against doing like the full-on surgery.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to lose any of the run he was on. And by the time he got it, essentially shortened his career. Like he couldn't physically do it anymore.
Wow.
So he physically was hindered. Like wrestling was never the ultimate goal for The Rock anyway.
No.
So he was very entertaining. In the ring, he was okay. But like Austin was good in the ring. He was great on the mic. And he connected with everybody on a way that was just like a whole other level. So
yeah.
Are there better in-ring workers? For sure. But like if I'm just doing the totality thing for me, it's probably Austin.
Which is in the ring and entertaining at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably Austin.
Gotcha. I was talking about someone recently about Gold Dust.
Yeah, shout out to Dustin Rhodes. Shout out to the man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like
back when homophobia was alive in wrestling.
but it didn't even seem like. But when you saw Gold Dust, you didn't think anything about it, right?
Young.
But we didn't think anything about it, right?
We didn't know any better. Like looking back now, I'm like, yo, that whole thing was so homophobic, bro. Like he had a whole thing. His first real beef was with Razor Ramon, and it was just him like trying to basically be like, I'm trying to get some of Razor Ramon. And Razor Ramon be like, nigga, I don't do that, nigga. Like that was his whole first, like, I remember, I'll never forget as a kid. It didn't make any sense to me, but him unzipping the thing and having the razor and a heart on his chest.
Oh shit.
And I was like, that's weird. But I just wanted Razor to win because I liked Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
And he beat Razor Ramon, and that was when Razor was gonna leave anyway, though. That was when Razor was headed to WCW. To be Scott Hall. But like, I remember just being like so like not knowing any better, and I look back like, damn, that was mad homophobic. The stuff they was doing with Goldust.
Facts.
Goldust, man, Dustin Rhodes. That's especially in that time frame to play that character. That takes a lot of balls. Man.
Yeah, and I was like, man, Goldust is just a good wrestler. You know, I was thinking too much about it. Like, man,
the natural solid. Dustin Rhodes. He was never gonna get over being himself, but that was dope for him.
Yeah. Apparently, I heard Dustin Rhodes talking about Vince McMahon came to him with the character to say, hey, I want you to play this character, and Dustin was like, all right. And we're gonna eventually leave the wrestling topic, folks, but we're having fun.
Yeah.
As I get older, I start to appreciate how ingenious Vince McMahon Jr. is, right? Like,
he was, yeah.
Or
he was quite a guy back then.
Yeah, and just like the business moves that he makes, I think he even recently sold the company for X amount of money, even though he's still like
he's not really a part of it anymore. He's out of it creatively.
Oh, you think?
Now it's back on the uptick. Now
gotcha.
He's out. Vince needed to step down from creative a long time ago.
Gotcha.
He's been out of touch for a minute.
And I personally wonder, and eventually, hopefully, we can have this conversation in person, Vince. Why didn't he give it to Shane, or why did he take it away from
Shane
Stephanie?
Can't do it.
Shane can't do it.
Shane can't do it.
Gotcha. You don't think he's mentally?
He's not. He doesn't have the acumen to do it. Triple H is the perfect person to kind of take it.
The next person in line that could do it, okay.
Shane wouldn't be able to do it. Stephanie is going to do it in conjunction with Triple H, I assume, now that Vince is out of the picture. Okay. Because she was doing that already before Vince came back into the picture.
Okay.
When Vince stepped away because of his allegations, it was Stephanie and Triple H, and everybody was happy. Everything was going well. Then Vince came back, and morale went back down, and now it's back on the uptick. Now that it's just Triple H, so hopefully Stephanie will come back in.
With Triple H says,
yeah,
okay,
but yeah, like it's for the best that it's not Shane. No offense to Shane, but yeah, Shane, he already kind of showed he was already kind of abusing his power when he was starting to come back more. So it's for the best that that's Triple H.
Interesting, I guess not everybody's meant to do the role,
Yeah, But Vince used to be. He was one of them. He was immensely intelligent. His foresight, all that good stuff. Did he have his faults on some of the stuff he planned? Yeah, like he never wanted to turn Shawn Michaels face. He said he would never be face. He said he would always be a heel. It took like a long time for them to be like, no, Sean's a face. Like his people next to him to finally convince him.
Got you. The heartbreak kid.
Yeah, man. It took him a long time to kind of figure that out. But Vince is definitely a visionary of. We wouldn't be where we are as fans if it wasn't for Vince kind of taking wrestling where he took it and basically becoming America and doing Manifest Destiny on all the wrestling territories and beating them up.
Smart business move.
Absolutely.
Smart business move. It's interesting that Mick Foley originally wanted to be Shawn Michaels. That was his original character he wanted to be.
Dude Love was basically Shawn Michaels, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And, talking about these stories and these entrances and these theme songs and these characters that they're building, why is the movie Scream your favorite movie?
Why is Scream my favorite movie?
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong if it's not your favorite movie.
It's not my favorite movie.
Okay.
It's in my top 5 favorite movies. It's definitely my favorite horror movie, and I'm a big horror movie guy, so it's definitely up there.
Okay.
So
I'm not that far off.
Godfather is my favorite movie. But yeah.
Okay.
Scream, it's when you really, if you look at the whole latchkey mindset and then watch Scream, it kind of makes a lot of sense because it's taking the horror tropes that Wes Craven himself created, and that's why one of my aliases is West Craven. So I feel like I'm the West Coast Craven. I'm the West Craven of rap. I create these. I'm a nightmare for these people as a rapper. That's kind of like the whole thing. And I tell stories. That's why it's always on the other projects from the mind of Wes Craven. It's just taking everything and throwing it on its head. Like, and every time I watch it, I get transported back into that time period and that time frame. And not just because, and it's also do I love Neve Campbell a lot? Yeah. And I'm gonna meet her at CreepyCon next year. I already got my ticket. I'm excited. I don't know what. I'm about to meet Neve Campbell. And I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm still trying to figure that out because I love Neve Campbell so much.
Got you. Like a little crush low key or what?
Oh man, I've had a crush on Neve Campbell since 1996. So yeah, man. Shout out to Neve Campbell. I'll be meeting you very soon. That's gonna be insane. But just the way that movie is done, the way they take all the tropes from horror movies that even Wes Craven did himself and kind of turn them on themselves, the iconic look of Ghostface, the way some of the kills are done, the way that everybody isn't exactly helpless against Ghostface like in these other horror movies where it seems like this undefeatable killer. The introduction of the dual killer, the way they did it was super dope. The motive, no motive thing, like it was just, shout out to Kevin Williamson. He wrote an amazing script that I'm sure Wes kind of touched up in areas because Kevin Williamson's scripts be a little all over the place sometimes. But
shots fired.
Hey, I love Kevin Williamson, man. Scream 1, Scream 2. I know what you did last summer. Like he's got some hitters under his belt.
He's definitely got some, yeah.
But
he's doing okay.
He wrote that. He wrote Scream in a weekend.
No way.
Yeah, he wrote it in Palm Springs, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah, it was based off of the Gainesville Ripper. But yeah, like just that movie is just so I get transported every time I watch it. It's just the way it makes me feel is crazy.
Got you. So you can put it on tonight and you'll be transported.
Hell yeah. I was gonna probably do that anyway because it's about to leave HBO Max and I own it, but I would like the ability to be lazy a little bit.
Okay, got you.
But yeah, just to turn it. I'm a big physical media guy, so I have to own that movie. Like I can't not own Scream. But yeah, no, I'm gonna get a vinyl printed out of El Guapo 3, and I'm gonna have because the whole cast is basically gonna be there from Scream at CreepyCon this year, in February. So I'm gonna have the whole cast of Scream sign a vinyl, like a vinyl copy of that, because that's really there wouldn't be that project without them. So yeah,
super dope.
Yeah, man.
Wow. I guess I have to ask, why is Godfather? I know probably an easy answer, right, people? But why is Godfather your favorite movie of all time?
I grew up watching it, man. Just like I grew up watching wrestling. My mom was big on mob stuff. Okay. So I feel like every Sunday we watched The Godfather 1 and 2.
Wow.
And then my sister loved the movie My Vida Loca, which was my mob stuff, but it was like street stuff with all the Latinos we grew up around too. So that also helped. She liked the movie Sugar Time, which is a really small known mob movie. A Bronx Tale is another movie I grew up loving. You know what I mean? So like I grew up watching The Godfather and learning the lessons of Michael and just what loyalty and family, like all these things were baked into me because of those movies. Because I'm a latchkey, I was inside. I'm watching those movies. And that's also part of the reason probably why I hate Scarface so much. Because of those movies. Like Godfather 1 and 2 are like indelible films. I'm finally at the point where I think Godfather 2 is a better movie than Godfather 1, but I'm still Godfather 1 is still my favorite.
Got you. And you hate Scarface.
I loathe Scarface. It's a terrible movie.
In comparison or just in general?
In general. It's a bad movie. It's
and
a bad movie.
people praise that movie.
Yeah, I blame the rap community for this. We got to stop perpetuating this bad movie, man. This movie almost derailed Pacino's career. We got to stop doing this.
Wow.
Pacino did one other movie after that called Revolution, and then he disappeared for like 6 years. We need to stop praising Scarface. It's not a good movie.
Got you.
Look, rappers, please stop this. He ruined his own drug empire, and he wanted to have sex with his sister. Can we please stop perpetuating Tony Montana because he had a tiger and took a couple duffel bags to the bank? Can we please stop this? We need to stop. He killed his best friend for no reason.
Oh, shit.
Now, he needed to kill Frank. That needed to happen. Frank was trying to get him out of here. He got to kill Frank. You take Frank's wife, okay, it's a little shiesty, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You kill your best friend, you want to sleep with your sister. You're getting high on your own supply. You're acting like you don't know that your boss is going to make you want to kill a family. Like, you knew these things. Like, come on. You had a trap. There's actually a featurette that shows there was a trap door like to escape his mansion underneath his chair in his office. But he wanted to have the big coked out shootout.
Got you. Because he was coked the fuck out at the end.
He's super coked out. Like what is there to worship? Like, I don't get it, bro. I've never gotten it. And I don't vibe with the movie. Shout out to Giorgio Moroder for doing the soundtrack though. Legend.
Boom. Without
him, we don't get Daft Punk. Amazing. He's the guy who really took the synthesizer and gave us the beat that's Giorgio Moroder right there. Legend. But yeah, no, get that movie out of here.
Gotcha. I guess a good takeaway from the movie is the quote, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway.
Life taught me that. I didn't need Tony Montana. and that, man, just, ugh.
That's hilarious.
Carlito's Way better movie, too, as well. Like, there's so many better, like, gang-related movies than that movie.
True.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a Blerd?
Do I consider myself a Blerd? I guess by definition, yeah. I think I qualify.
Okay.
I think I have the credentials to qualify for that as well.
He's like, I was talking to Josh from Nerds and Hip Hop about what Blerd is and stuff like that, and I kind of disliked the term because I always feel like when black people are doing something, they always put the word black in front of it.
Yeah, well, we make it cool, so we may as well.
That's a good way to take it. But a good way he kind of broke it down was like a lot of black people are not really, how do you say, they're probably going to like ashamed to admitting that they like anime or cosplay.
Yeah. And
so it's like an easier transition when they see other black people that are doing it to do it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that goes for anything because, it's unfortunately baked into the black community to shun or put down anything that doesn't seem like it was originated within a black context or a black texture. So, or
black people are not doing it mainstream wise.
Yeah, but that's because it's baked into us that we're not supposed to. So that's why when they see rock music, like my mom always called rock music white music. Like, I'm like, Mom, Chuck Berry made rock music. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, we made that. They just tried to take it. So yeah, I like rock music. We did that. That's us. You know what I mean? Like, and we didn't do anime. I can't say I'm not saying that, but like, you know what I mean? But like, it's just kind of like, just us as black people, we try to shun or put down anything. It's to our own detriment. It goes beyond entertainment, unfortunately. Not to make it like heavy or anything. But
no,
like,
make it as heavy as you want, bro.
Like, it just goes into all of that. You know what I mean? Like the way we shun mental health and things of that nature. It's because it's not made to be seen to be cool, or how they try to be, how so many black people can tend to be homophobic because the way they shun different things from a lack of understanding, and then because we're never put in a position to learn and then be praised for it.
Okay.
Then they don't want to go. It's almost like they try to make it, cool for us to not know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be ignorant.
It's always cool. Ignorance is bliss, man. So, but yeah, no, ain't nothing wrong with being a nerd, man. Nerds got hands. I'll fight somebody right now. Ain't nothing wrong with being a nerd.
I think nerds rule the world, personally.
It's a fact. That's what I've never understood too. Like as I got older, I was like, why are people making fun of nerds when they get all the money? They end up running the world, man. They get all the money. What you hating on there for? You gotta go to Silicon Valley, get a bag.
Facts. Elon Musk is a nerd.
Yeah, he's an idiot though.
Oh shit! You want to elaborate on that?
Elon Musk he's an idiot.
You want to elaborate?
You can be smart and be stupid at the same time, and Elon Musk is stupid.
Gotcha. Would you like to elaborate for us?
I think just look at X. That's the elaboration.
Damn.
How do you
buying X or what?
Look how he's running into the ground.
It's going into the ground?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, man.
You can't have this many major sponsors saying we don't rock with this platform anymore because of you and the way you've done it. You've completely ruined the model. Like, you did that, man.
I think because he's trying
Teslas
to...
are cool.
He's going his own way, though, right? That's the reason why, because he's going
What
against the
way?
grain. He's going
against the grain is just doing whatever he feels like doing when he wakes up. Did you watch the last Knives Out movie?
No. Damn it, no.
So basically the character that Edward Norton is playing in that movie is basically, they didn't say it was a spoof of Elon Musk. They allowed Elon Musk to say, you're trying to make fun of me in this movie. They never said it.
Awesome.
And of course, his character is a giant idiot who isn't actually as smart as everybody says he is. And Elon Musk immediately took that as a shot at him himself. And they said, we never even said it was about you.
Interesting. I love it.
Hit dogs holler, man.
That's what they say. Ooh. Oh, man. Okay.
But yeah, Blerd, nothing wrong with being a Blerd, y'all. Be a Blerd.
Yeah, nerds rule the world, man. And I think it's cool. And, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you're hip hop. You've been doing this since 2010 out here.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on signing to a major label?
I think if you have the right representation around you and you know what the documentation is stating and you know what you're getting yourself into, there's nothing wrong with signing to a major label. I'm never going to be as gung-ho against them, more than likely, until I'm put in a situation where I need to be. But I feel like we're in such an information age that you should know everything you're signing before you sign it. Now, do I understand situations where artists are, especially the artists that get signed, where they in the hood, $250,000? That's you ain't never seen that in your life, not legally.
Yeah. Yep.
You could change everything with that. You're not understanding what comes with that as far as paying it back. You're not understanding what an advance really does to you. You're not understanding what this is basically just a glorified loan. You're not understanding that a lot of you going out and spending this immediately, but you're not understanding that you got to pay for lawyer costs, lawyer fees, management fees. You got to pay for the studio time. You got to pay for X, Y, Z. You got to do. That's all supposed to be coming out of this money. You don't think about that. You think about getting out and just being, flashy. And that's not your fault. But there's a lot of books and a lot of things of that nature that, and if you should have hopefully somebody around you. I have somebody around me who I can bounce stuff off of. Shout out to Nada. What's up to you? He's a lawyer in the industry.
Beautiful.
That I can talk to and go, hey, as long as it's not of conflicting interest because he does work for a label, but I can say, hey, what is this saying? What is this meaning? What is this looking like? What should I be looking out for? Blah, blah, blah. There's books that you can read that will let you know what some of these clauses are. And if you don't know what the word perpetuity means, look it up, because they be sneaking that into these contracts.
Got you.
And locking people up for the rest of their lives.
You want to share people what perpetuity means?
Perpetuity basically means forever, man. So it don't matter when. It don't matter. You could pass away. Your family still ain't getting that money. It's always going to these people. And I didn't even learn that from music. I learned that from sports.
Wow.
When the ABA dissolved, the team that owns St. Louis said, we want X amount % of the NBA TV revenue in perpetuity. And that was at a time when nobody thought the NBA was going to be, that was when they were still on tape delay.
Wow.
So the family that made that deal and sold that team gets X amount of money on NBA revenue from their TV deals, which is in the billions, in perpetuity.
Forever.
Chris Brown record. Forever.
That's a great business deal.
Yeah.
Did you hear about, I can't even think of his name right now, but he did, it's hot out here for a pimp.
Oh, yeah. Terrence Howard? Yeah,
Terrence Howard.
I heard that man talking, man. Yeah.
Did you hear about what he said about the character? And
how he's barely getting anything for the royalties and all that stuff. Yeah.
Very interesting, like how it's worded. Like the character is owned and getting the money, but not him as the actor playing the character.
It's tricky, man. It's tricky. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter which race you are. They're getting their money out of you, bro.
It's smart. Hey, I can't knock the hustle. Hey, you know, if you're not reading the contract correctly, and you sign what you sign. So
we're in it, but I'm sure that I'm guaranteeing. I can guarantee that these labels are probably coming to you and telling you they're not giving you time to read it over.
Okay.
I can also say that. They're probably coming in with the offer. This offer expires in like X amount of time. You know what I'm saying? It's a poison pill offer. It's going to expire. You know, like I'm sure there's a lot of that too. They're not really giving you, they're pressuring you into thinking, if I don't sign right now, I'm never going to get this deal.
You're going to lose the opportunity.
I'm going to lose this opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And they just want to get the rights to your song.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So you're signing with them. They get the rights to your song. It's making all the money. And they get that money, and then they can just shelf you. And now you also owe them money. It's a cold game.
It is a cold game.
Yeah.
So cold game, man. God, I really would have wished I could have seen what the industry would have been like if Michael Jackson would have owned majority of Sony like he was planning on to. That would have been a really interesting industry to see.
Man, really R.I.P. to Mike, man.
Yeah, God bless you, Mike, for everything you did. Speaking of amazing artists like Michael Jackson, are there any artists or producers that you would like to work with now or in the future?
I need a verse from Mike Shinoda for sure.
Okay. You want to tell him?
Yeah, Mike knows.
Okay.
He knows. Mike, you know, I need that verse. It's got to be for that. I got to get the verse from Mike. I need a record from Alchemist for sure. That should be coming hopefully soon in the next year or so.
I love it.
Maxwell is producer. Originally from, I want to say he's from Australia originally, but he makes some of my favorite stuff. Need a record from him. I need Daft Punk to reunite, maybe I could just work with Guy Manuel. Maybe and get a beat. I don't know, but I need some production from them. That would be crazy, seeing as that's what kind of set me off into writing songs. Like I was, as far as telling people I had beats when it was just Daft Punk beats from Discovery. Very big and major for me. I would love to do something with John Mayer. That'd be crazy.
Okay.
Anthony Kiedis from the Chili Peppers, or even Flea, or even John. Just Chili Peppers. Just come on down.
Got you. The whole band.
Whole band. Just come on down. Chad, everybody come around. Let's get it done. Those are always the biggest ones off the top of the head.
Got you. Yeah.
Those are definitely the biggest ones. If I did something with Dave Grohl, that'd be crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Obviously, a verse from like Lupe would be nuts.
Okay.
Collaborating with Childish on something visually or musically would be crazy.
Even story-wise too, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Royce, obviously. Even though him and Lupe beefing, please stop, y'all.
They're beefing over what? What are they beefing over?
Major beef.
Over what?
They had a podcast together, and then stuff went south, and some names were called, and some diss records were put out, and you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed that. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Also, working with Lloyd Banks would be crazy for me as well.
Wow. Let's see all this happen in the future, folks. Let's see this happen.
Yeah, I need that.
I think when we speak it, I think it
Manny Fresh. I need an intro.
Manny?
I need like one of those old hot boys. The block is hot, 400 degrees. You made the beat and you just talking shit intros. I need one from Manny Fresh for sure. I still say that.
Boom. All day, every day. We got to put the positivity out. Speak it and it will come, as they say. Our words are powerful. You know, Cam, what... if you're willing to share and whatever you're willing to share, what is something that most people, maybe even some close people, don't know about you?
Don't know about me?
Yeah, that you're willing to share.
I like to say that I'm deceptively shallow. So
okay.
So everything looks deep. It ain't that deep, man. You know what I mean? So there's probably not a lot of people who know me don't know about me. Mm-hmm. But just people who don't know me just assume that if I'm out in public, or I have resting bitch face, so that doesn't help. But
awesome.
Like, if I don't talk to you or I don't come up to you and speak with you, and then you see me with somebody I know, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, I'm very personable, very approachable from that aspect. I'm just not going out. I just chill in the background, bro. So, and then it doesn't help when I get on stage and I'm like, hey, I'm Cam and I rap really well. And people just assume like, oh, he's just some arrogant asshole who just thinks he's the shit. And that's not really the case, guys. I just know that I'm a good rapper. That's not a problem. We should all be confident in what we do. But when I get off stage, I'm chilling. That's why I tell people, if you want to come talk to me, I'm open to talk. I'm just not the go up to everybody and just assume that they want to talk to me person. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like everybody wants to talk to me. If you want to talk to me, come up to me, talk to me. We can talk. We can chop it up. But I'm never going to be... And then from there, if I see you, I'll come up to you and talk to you. Because then I know, hey... I'm cool with this person.
Yeah.
But I don't just go up to just strangers and stuff like that or like people I don't know very well and just go up to them and start trying to talk to them. I just don't do that.
Got you. Is it related to the Shy Guy?
Probably. It's probably just, hey, like I'm not trying to deal, like I don't like, who likes rejection, right? So I'd rather just chill where I'm at. Now, if you want to talk, hey, come talk to me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure it all ties in.
I love it. Cool. I immediately thought of a pond when you say, I'm not that deep, I'm kind of shallow. I just thought of like thinking like a pond and you step in and it's like, oh,
it's only deceptive.
Yeah.
Like you think from afar, you're like, man, that looks really deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that bad.
It's not like that. Not at all. Not at all. As we know, or maybe we don't know, but I assume that I know there's a lot of bodies of work coming out next year that you're working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a couple of current projects that you're working on?
Yeah, sure. Me and Nabi and He won an award at the Only Empire Awards as well. Grammy nominated guy. That's my guy right there. That's my bro. We've been doing this project forever though. We've been taking forever. It's called Banner Boys. That should be coming out next year.
Okay.
We finally started putting the foot to the gas on that. So be on the lookout for that.
What's the title about?
Banner Boys?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the way I look at it and the way I'm creating is it's like a moment of reflection of what we came from to where we are now. And it's like we've won already, but we're still going to continue to win. So we're winning these championships as we go along. So we're putting up banners.
Yeah.
With Banner Boys. So I have that. My collective OE, which is myself, Jay Kasai, Nicholas Gray, CJ Wesley, Oh Gosh Leotis, and Nabian as a producer as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have an album. We've been a collective since like 2013, and we don't have a full album. I think Nick didn't come in for like a year, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have like a body of work. This is gonna be our first like album completely produced by Nabian and Oh Gosh.
Cool.
That's coming out next year with a documentary with it as well because we filmed a lot of what we did there. We did like a week camp where we did like 25 songs and then
dope. So it's 3 MCs and 2 producers, right?
4 MCs because Nick raps, you know.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, does Oh Gosh rap too? No.
Nah, it's CJ Wesley, Nicholas Gray,
I
myself,
missed CJ.
and
I missed CJ.
Yeah,
Okay.
CJ Wesley. Yeah.
Okay.
So we finished that. That's coming out. And I'm working on my album, the first like album that I've released since 2019. That's coming out next year as well.
Okay. It's do you guys have a name for the OE collective album?
Echoes of the Empire.
Echoes of the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's coming out next year. And then my album. That already has a title, but we're just gonna keep that under wraps for now. And
Got you. No sneak peek for us?
Nah, I don't do that.
Okay.
I'm one of those people who still likes to keep the secrecy in some of the stuff I do,
fun.
but you know what I mean? Especially for like the albums. When it's time, when it's ready, y'all know.
They'll know.
They'll know when it's time to hit the button. Because I like to do my albums and make them very, very important. So I've dropped a lot of EPs, dropped a lot of like mini projects here and there, but I don't look at them like this is my album and this is how I'm looking at this. So it's been a while.
Can we get maybe a name of a track or the concept of the album?
There's a song called Bucket Seats that I'm really proud of. I'm very proud of that record. So yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Cam Arch, I want to thank you so much for being on The Empire, man. Appreciate you. Let's say 100 years pass by, 200 years pass by, half a millennia passes by. What would you like your empire to look like, Cam, regarding music, family, culture, San Bernardino, etc.? What would you like your empire to look like half a millennia from now? Healthy.
I want it to be clean and healthy. It doesn't have to be perfect because nothing's perfect. I'm not building Nellyville, but you know, it just has to be healthy in a healthy space, in a healthy place where artists are good where they're at. They're good being recognized where they're from and where they're at. And hopefully the legacy of my music has lived on and inspired more artists to grow from that, whether it be from not just my music, but also my work, what little philanthropy I'm able to do. But then on top of that, me putting on shows and passing it down to the next artist and letting them know that they got to do the same thing to cultivate for the next artist. So it's just that health. It's just building the health.
Through the work.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that, man. Again, thank you so much. Can you please tell everybody how they can find you, reach you, support you, all that jazz?
Yeah, at Cam Archer, CAMARCHER on pretty much everything, really. Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, Slacker, whatever you use. Amazon Music, YouTube Music, I'm on there. TikTok as well, whatever your vice is, you can find me there. I've put out upwards to like 13 projects since I started rapping, so there's plenty to find, and plenty to support, and there's new stuff coming. I just put out a project that came out a year ago called Don't Mention It, The Pleasure Is Mine. I put that on the streaming services. So if you didn't hear that when it came out, because I sent it out to people who bought tickets to a show. It's a collection of songs that I was like, I don't even know where these are going. So here, take them. So if you haven't heard that, or you can go check that now out on streaming. And I'm thinking about just dropping something else, just cause on like Bandcamp or something. I don't know. I'm considering it. So just be on the lookout. And yeah, that's that. It is what it is, y'all.
Nice. And I'll have, the link in the description, for, at least for his Instagram, and you guys can find him. I'm pretty sure even Google works as well, but I'll definitely have the link for his IG.
You gotta be careful with that. There's like this white director named Cam Archer.
Oh, shit.
We've been having this beef over domain names forever, so.
Uh-oh, SEO.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, but I'll definitely have the link for his IG, which I'm pretty sure will have also other links to the other stuff that he has and stuff like that. And I think we learned a lot today, folks. We learned that, he's a latchkey kid off of 13th Street, stayed indoors, obviously a wrestling fan, heel all day, Bret. But I don't think Bret Hart was a heel. Was Bret Hart
a heel in WCW. That's why I have a project, a series of mixtapes called the Heel Tapes. And the first one was based off Bret being a heel. So the cover's Bret, and then all the skits in the middle are like Bret turning heel. And then his heel skits in WCW. So
boom. But
he was a heel at the end of his run in WWE.
There you go.
At the end of his run, that's the famous double turn between him and Austin. Austin became a face just organically, and he became a heel. And so that gradual switch, and then him going to WCW, and then he was pretty much a heel most of the time he was in WCW. But each skit there plays off of that. Heel tape 2 plays off Triple H's heel turn. Heel tape 3 plays off Roman Reigns. So, yeah.
Boom.
You can find all those as well. My heel tapes, they're free, kind of. Yeah.
More or less. Yeah. You'll find them. And like I said, we learned so much. See, this guy knows his heels. Absolutely. I've been thinking he's a kind of a, listening to the track, Don't Play About Me. I'm saying it wrong. I know. Why are you playing with me? He even sounds like a heel to me when I listen to it. I'm like, man, you're just talking shit on this thing, on this girl. But, we learned so much about Cam today. Like I said, growing up in San Bernardino, calling out people who are from the IE, but not representing the IE. That was definitely a lesson. How he also mentioned to us that I think is very important, ladies and gentlemen, which is if you have a vision for something and then you have a negative thought about it, stick to the positive and go through with it, because you never know what could happen. And he shared his story about how Mike, one of his influential MCs from Linkin Park, reposted it, and then he was able to work with him because he pushed through with his original vision. So keep that also in mind, folks. And like I said, we learned so much with this gentleman, and I want to thank him for being on. I want to thank all you guys for watching, listening. Again, my name is Antonio Lee Miles. If you guys haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought. If you want to support the channel, we can do any of our digital things, which are in the description. And other than that, I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right? Peace. I say it's my duty. Yeah. Is it my will? Yeah. To do what? Yeah. To do is right. I say.
She was stuck in the wrestling. I was in there all day.
Oh man, I know. I was like, oh, I feel like the wrestling's going on for like 30 minutes right there, real quick.